shopping experience. That means creating play areas for kids, offering demos of new toys, and staging events like scavenger hunts in the stores. Retailers are trying to grab a piece of the nearly $3 billion left on the table by Toys R Us, or 12% of the U.S. toy market. Patrick Foss reporting.
Senate leaders struck a bipartisan deal late Thursday approving 15 of the Trump administration's judicial nominations. That allows lawmakers to get out of town for the midterm elections about 2 weeks early. More on these stories at townhall.com. I'm Ron DeRockstra.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-318-4349 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-318-4349. Again, that's 800-318-4349.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here on the radio waves. You can take control of those airwaves, bring up whatever it is that is on your mind here tonight, as we are back for our first full show, back from our, not really vacation, but working vacation.
Vacation. It feels like we never left.
Yeah, to the, well, actually it didn't feel that way to me. It's been a very strange week, because normally conventions are on weekends, and this was a midweek convention, which the three of us actually attended. Tonight, actually in the studio tonight, it's Ian, Chris,
and Vin.
Vin Armani joining us here for a special Saturday episode. Normally you are on Tuesdays, once a month, but actually, even if you could have made it this week, we wouldn't have been able to be here, because we were going to be at the Blockchain Institute of Technology, or is it four? I keep screwing that up.
Four, I think.
The Blockchain Institute for Technology, aka AnyPay's headquarters. We did our show there on Tuesday.
Oh, interesting.
Which was the same place where a few days later you did an event called Bitcoin Heretics.
Yes, on Thursday we did this Bitcoin Heretics event. It was myself and Daniel Krawitz and Krista Rose, who have been now they're really becoming known as the preeminent, I guess you would say, philosophers in the Bitcoin, like cryptocurrency space. And we wanted to have a conversation. We wanted to start talking about what the potential implications of hyper-Bitcoinization would be on a cultural level. So that's which is a term that Daniel Krawitz coined. And I know
hyper-localization?
No, hyper-Bitcoinization.
Bitcoinization.
Yes. Which is, so the idea behind hyper-Bitcoinization is that, when Bitcoin takes over the world and it's this new currency, I think there are a lot of us who were rah-rah for that, and we would like it to happen. I'm one of those people. But in economics, there's no solutions. There's only trade-offs, as Thomas Sowell says.
Right.
And whenever you have technology, there's the upside and the downside. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about the stuff that Facebook has been doing, but we wanted to start having a conversation, something that really didn't happen in the early days of social media. Remember, it was all fun and games and MySpace wallpapers, and now we're talking about the corporate version of Big Brother and censorship, and nobody thought that was even
coming.
Who would have guessed it? And so
I think some people would have guessed it.
Some people would have, but I don't think that it was being pushed forward and talked about. So we wanted to have an event where we could start bringing up these these issues, and it was very well attended. I don't think we could have had very many more people there. You were there.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
And thank you for coming. And I think that we got some people's minds working, I hope, and I hope that the conversation continues forward. We're going to do more of these events.
Are you?
Yeah. We all had a great time.
Nice.
Cool. And there's video, by the way. There
Yes.
were like 4 different cameras there, and so I've given my footage to Derek J., who also had a camera there, and you're going to get the footage tonight. So hopefully there'll be a nice like multicam kind
That's
of
the plan.
sweet
That's the
looking
plan, yeah.
video to come out of this, because the content was really good.
I appreciate
And,
that.
I mean, we won't dive too deep into what it was like, because it was really more for Bitcoin people. You know, it was like if you're into the world of cryptocurrency, if you're into Bitcoin, then this was a must-see, I think,
Thank you.
event. Lots of good ideas there. My favorite part, and I complimented Daniel on this, was when he likened the ideal Bitcoiner to Don Quixote.
Yes.
For listeners
so
unfamiliar, it's an old story of this purportedly crazy guy
Yes.
who goes around tilting at windmills.
Yes.
And I think he likened it to the ideal Bitcoiner should be like that, because we believe a thing that most people don't believe. We believe in this sort of magic internet money, right? And we want other people to believe in that thing as well. And we can prove that this stuff works, right? Like,
Well, they're
this isn't
starting
magic.
to believe in it. I'm looking at this thing that you showed me from Walmart, these little chocolate Bitcoins that were
The
actually...
$1 chocolate Bitcoins.
Yeah, for $1 you can get how many chocolate Bitcoins?
I think there's 6 or 7 in there.
7 chocolate Bitcoins for $1. But the fact that they're now they're chocolate now.
Right.
So they're kind of making a little bit of a joke about it.
Right.
But at least they're acknowledging that it's real. So that's how it all starts with Bitcoin. That's how Bitcoin gets you.
We're selling those for $42,000 and change because you get 7 of them in it. So
yeah, I was saying
I don't have any takers yet.
I've been saying I'm CBTC rich,
right?
Chocolate Bitcoin rich, because I bought a whole box of them. I was telling Ben there's literally an end cap display at the Walmart here in Keene, and it's not like they just put this in Keene because they knew Keene was.
No.
There were pictures of these things showing up outside of Keene. We were actually wondering when we were going to get them, and so finally they've shown up, and they literally are just boxes of these things.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, at least amongst the Bitcoin community here, boxes of them have walked out. I mean,
I got one.
Sure.
I got 86 in one box.
I got 77 of them
that I took, and we sell them at our store now. So
that's amazing.
There we go.
I love it.
So anyway, Bitcoin Heretics was at .com.
BitcoinHeretics.com, yeah.
BitcoinHeretics.com. I presume that once the video is available, it will be there.
Yes, it will.
Of course, we'll let you know on the air as well. So the news headline here that I think we should talk about is not what we were talking about yesterday about Facebook, which is the fact that they have taken down 800 plus pages and a few hundred accounts recently in this purge of what included a number of liberty-oriented, police accountability kind of Facebook pages like CopBlock. We covered that in detail last night. Of course, you're welcome to comment on any of these things. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Also, we do have the Discord on-air call-in line rooms that are available now over at discord.lrn.fm. If you want to sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio, that's the way you do that. So you can comment on any of these things, but the big headline here, top of Drudge Report actually right now, is a news report from WRAL, San Francisco. The New York Times actually reporting here on the same day Facebook announced it had carried out its biggest purge yet of American accounts peddling disinformation, which is a huge insult. The company quietly made another revelation. It had removed 66 accounts, pages, and apps linked to Russian firms that build facial recognition software for the Russian government.
Oh, no.
Facebook said Thursday it had removed any accounts associated with Social Data Hub and its sister firm Fubutek because the companies violated its policies by scraping data from the social network.
So we build an insecure social network, so we're kicking you off because you took advantage of our weaknesses.
But that's their entire business is data scrapage.
Right.
This is why this is very ironic, right? So Facebook is making a big to-do about how they're protecting people. We're getting rid of these Russian Facebook scrapers, these data, miners or whatever. Right. So, only we can do this because that's what they do.
Only we can track your every move once you visit Facebook and then you leave, that the pixel follows you and tracks everywhere that you go. Only we are allowed to do that.
Right. And they these companies probably aren't paying Facebook.
Well, that's the key.
Yeah, they're making money off of Facebook data, and I think that's what violates Facebook's terms of service.
Absolutely.
Right.
And, look, this was the point that was made actually yesterday when in their press release or their blog post about the takedowns, they actually admit, if you read it and you read it right, they actually admit they are jealous of sites like CopBlock or the Free Thought Project getting people to leave Facebook to where those sites can then generate revenue.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Right.
They actually, attack them for that in their blog post because they want you to stay on Facebook. And that's the reason why they will take, if you put a link to a site that's not Facebook on Facebook, it immediately sort of deprioritizes that, right? Like that will not get seen nearly as much as if you link to a page on Facebook. And so they're mad because the CopBlock and these other sites figured out a way to try to combat that by sharing each other's posts on each other's page, and that's what Facebook comes at them for, and literally references the advertisements that are visible on the other sites, on CopBlock, on the Free Thought Project, and suggests that it's somehow bad that these sites are generating revenue, or trying to, because I can tell you, I've seen the numbers from CopBlock.
Sure, it's not.
And they're not, they were barely even, this was a year ago when they were sold, they were barely even covering their hosting costs, and now the site's a shell of, what it used to be. So this is all about not only revenue, but keeping you on Facebook and giving you no reason to leave.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that from a business point of view. I mean,
it's their
Facebook
business.
is absolutely free to do that. I think my concern would be if I were a middle manager in Facebook going, guys, we're really getting an awful lot of bad press here, and we really got to tone back the whole authoritarian thing.
We got more coming up. We'll tell you more about this facial recognition crackdown by Facebook here in moments. This is Free Talk Live.
Hey, you. Yeah, you.
Your imagination is limitless. Your potential is limitless.
We create websites, mobile apps, and animation. Let's design your story. SunstoneDigitalTech.com. 20% off. Quick. Call 888-211-7519.
We are digital.
Call now, 888-211-7519. Sunstone Digital Tech.
Limited time, limitless digital experiences.
Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community, services that provide freedom, utility, and privacy. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save ATPurse.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Morsels, helping you create special moments and memories your family will cherish forever. Visit us at tollhouse.com. You may bake for birthdays and holidays, but why stop there? Sweeten up the rest of the year by designating monthly dessert days. Treat your family to one of their favorites or surprise them with something new. Either way, you'll create a tradition everyone will love. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free here. Take control of the airwaves. Our number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We do have our Discord on-air call-in line rooms that are open and available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. Discord is a chat service. It's free. It's great. It is a centralized chat service, however, and that's sort of the theme that we've been discussing here, is not relying on centralized services. Mm-hmm. But that said, it's a pretty good one because, again, it's free and it actually sounds really good. It sounds a lot better than Skype used to, for instance, for on-air calls. Mm-hmm. And there's also, you've got the handy feature that there are multiple chat rooms that are open and available to you there that you can converse with other Free Talk Live listeners in over at discord.lrn.fm. So, Ian, Chris, and Vin in the studio here tonight. WRAL and the New York Times reporting on Facebook apparently taking down multiple Facebook pages and apparently apps linked to alleged Russian firms that they say are building facial recognition software for the Russian government. Facebook said on Thursday they had removed accounts associated with Social Data Hub and its sister firms Fubu Tech. They said to the New York Times, quote, Facebook has reason to believe your work for the, or this was actually I guess their takedown notice to them. Quote, Facebook has reason to believe your work for the government has included matching photos from individuals' personal social media accounts in order to identify them, said the company in a cease and desist letter to Social Data Hub that was dated Tuesday and viewed by the New York Times. Facebook gave the companies until Friday to detail what data they had taken and then delete it all, as though they have any kind of authority over a Russian, Russian firm.
Government operation is going to be like, sorry.
Oops.
Yeah, we violated the terms of service. I'm sure we're going to do that right away, sir.
I'm scared. Right, and you just shut us down. You've just killed our whole revenue stream from this. So, yes, we're very eager to comply with your wishes.
And it seems like what they're talking about there from a technical standpoint, it seems like what they're talking about is that they used Facebook's data as their sort of image sample or their image pool, and then they would match it when someone would use like a facial recognition app. But it would seem to me that they would already have everything that they needed at this point. I'm sure that they wouldn't have just left it on Facebook servers. I'm sure they scraped it down and put it in databases.
Right, that's why Facebook is asking them. That's why they're saying, just tell us what you took.
Yeah.
And then tell us you've deleted. I mean, then what? They're going to let them back on? They're going to let them have their accounts again?
No. Yeah.
Are you going to sue them in Russian court over this because they violated your terms of service? I mean, do people actually get sued over that?
No. I don't. Well, as far as I've never heard of it.
Yeah. I mean, look, the terms of service on a website are not a real contract.
No.
Okay? you click that you agree to them. Nobody ever reads it, first and foremost.
Right.
So, generally in order to have a contract, as I understand it, there's certain elements that have to be present. You have to have an agreement. You have to have consideration. You have to have there's like 4 different elements, and you have to have mutual, like some sort of like a mutual understanding. There has to be some evidence that the parties are actually understand the thing that they're signing and have actually read and are on board with it. And these, of course, terms of service don't even have a place for your signature. They're also not signed on the other side by the corporation.
No. Right.
And most of the terms of service usually have a term that says, and it's usually one of 2 variants, either the company or the corporation can update the terms at any time without notice, or they can update the terms anytime with notice.
Right.
I've seen them both.
Yeah.
And I don't read a lot of these things, but I've definitely looked into some of them, and I've seen those terms. So, like, if the contract is that one side of the one party gets to update the contract anytime,
that's not a contract.
And all they got to do is tell you, or even in some cases not tell you, that's not a contract.
No.
So I don't think that, certainly don't think a Russian firm in any way could be held liable for violating those terms of service. Usually the only punishment for violating terms of service is you get disconnected from the service.
Well, which is what's happening, clearly.
Right. And I think that governments are the only ones that are allowed to change the rules.
Right.
And
punish you for
retribution. Right.
So it says here the case illustrates a new reality for Facebook. Social Data Hub and FuboTech have been around for at least 4 years, relying in part on Facebook data to build products that might alarm some civil liberty advocates. Well, the alarming part is the fact that Facebook exists in the first place, and the fact that they've been building data profiles with your consent over the last decade plus.
Right.
That is incredibly alarming, or should be alarming to anybody that cares about privacy.
And it's not that the problem isn't that they're working with a government, right? That there is a government involved and that's a threat to the people. It's that it's the Russian government, because we know that the U.S. government is working with Facebook.
Of course.
Like it's an open door policy over there.
Yes.
So that's morally inconsistent in and of itself, because it's not that they're saying, we would hate for government actors to get a hold on this because we value our users so much. No, it's just plain and simple. Like, it's just not that government.
Yeah, and I do think the playing field has changed. I mean, I remember I was working for big corporations back in the early 2000s and things like that, and we would always have some sort of a technology team that would be talking about, have you heard of this thing called Wiki that's coming up, and what are we going to do with that? I remember the early discussions about social media. I mean, we talked about the benefits of collaboration, the benefits of having channels outside of our normal channels, and all these things that social media could bring into the workplace. But honestly, we never thought about data mining. We were concerned with security, whether things would be discussed there that shouldn't be discussed in those spaces. But we just never looked at it as if what a treasure trove for a bad actor to come in and to delve into. So,
which it was.
Oh, huge, biggest honeypot.
Well, you
on
never
the face
see
of the
these
planet.
things. You never see them coming.
Right.
These are the unknown unknowns, to where as technology moves, I mean, it's just, you imagine the telephone. I'm sure that Alexander Graham Bell would have never thought about telemarketers, right? The idea that, like, there's going to come a time when, 50% of the phone calls that are moving across this thing is going to be a complete stranger trying to sell you something. That would be like, what? That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah,
but
sure. At the time, it was like, oh my God, I can talk to somebody.
Exactly.
Right.
So you always have these weird things that pop up with any technology. It's important to try to see them. Hopefully we can do that with technology moving forward, because I really feel like it's getting to a point where it's a legit problem. People are relying so much on social media for all of their information that these few companies that control it, the Googles and Facebooks of the world, they really are sitting on a huge lever for humanity right now.
And as was pointed out last night, are they going to shut down Fox News? Are they going to shut down CNN? Because
it will happen.
Well, maybe they will, but these are sort of like the state-approved media, right? So, like, they're doing the same thing that Cop Block or the Free Thought Project is doing, meaning that they're posting links to their own sites, where they're monetizing their websites, as they should be, And that's what Facebook was partially upset about.
I think this is an information war that nobody really anticipated, that it's going to become about shutting down each other's services because of money. And that's what's been happening for the last couple of years.
All right, we got more on the way here about the Facebook data scraping. It's okay when they do it, but not okay when some other company does it. Probably not as well as Facebook.
Me too.
There's more coming up here. 855, 450, free, like freedom. Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
Who told you can go this way? You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video or audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Live Saturday edition of the show. Very professional, Vin, Armani.
Oh,
very,
my goodness.
Very professional. Here we are. We'll take your calls about anything you want. Check out Vin over on his website, vinarmani.com.
Thank you, sir.
You're doing a new show, Vin.
I am.
You're doing Destination Unknown.
Destination Unknown. It's, I guess, for those people who are sort of kookier conspiracy theory buffs, they will like the show because it has those elements, although we are skeptics.
Wait a minute. Yeah, you're not a flat earther. Right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because that's what I consider kookier.
Yes, I consider that kooky as well. No, we're skeptics, and we are guys who like science. We're both me and my host, my co-host Dave Butler. We're both in the technology field, and so we really are trying to do maybe a little bit of the conspiracy theory thing. Kind of some of the same, touch on the same subjects, similar subjects, but really try to see, is there any truth that is some logical truth in this without putting anything extra on it? And it's turned out to be really fun. 2 bottles of wine we do over a 2-hour podcast. We do live. So it's good. The last 20 minutes is usually very entertaining.
All right, check him out over at vinarmani.com. And also, Freedom's Phoenix is a great liberty-oriented news aggregation site if you want the newest and freshest stories and perspectives on current events from those who value liberty. Freedomsphoenix.com has it. Their daily dispatch is the best way to stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state. It's Freedoms with an S, Phoenix.com. That's freedomsphoenix.com. As we continue here talking about Facebook taking down not just the hundreds of pages that we reported on yesterday, many of whom were within the liberty movement, like CopBlock and the Free Thought Project, but also now apparently targeting a couple of Russian companies that Facebook is alleging was scraping their website. Now, if you've never heard of that term before, they actually will explain it here. The New York Times says that it's a rudimentary technique in which computer programmers can pull information off of a website. It's difficult to detect and prevent, said Facebook. Scraping can... Well, the reason for that is because it looks just like a web browser.
That's all it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
If you're scraping, what it means is when you're browsing the web on whatever browser you happen to be using, whether it's your phone or your laptop, when you're browsing, your browser is downloading images, it's downloading text, and scraping that just simply means basically automating that process.
That's right.
Having a script.
Sucking it all in.
Right. So like one way to scrape it might be to have a script that pulls up Vin's profile, and if Vin's got his friends list public, then pulls his friends list up and then hits every single friend on the friends list and then goes to all their friends and goes to all their friends and just keeps on going until it builds essentially as much of a copy of the Facebook data as it possibly can. There's nothing, violating of, just downloading data from Facebook if you're one of their users, but they're saying that these companies were violating their terms of service simply because they alleged that they were scraping rather than just using Facebook. But the difference between scraping and using is, again, almost impossible to tell when you're looking at a server.
Question of efficiency, and that's it.
Yeah. So it says here that scraping can pull any data that's left public on a Facebook profile. And Artur Kachuyan, the 26-year-old chief executive of Social Data Hub and Fubutek, said in an interview Friday Facebook had deleted his company's accounts unfairly. Fubutek does build facial recognition software for the Russian government and uses Facebook data, but it scrapes Google search results for that information, not Facebook, he said. And Social Data Hub's main product, a system that assigns scores to Russian citizens based on their social media profiles for insurers and banks, required permission from the users that it rates, he said. He said he taught Russian journalism students how to scrape the web and that 2 of them had scraped Facebook for the public profiles of their classmates. He believes Facebook mistook the students' activity for his company's work. But regardless of whatever the truth is behind what these companies were doing, whether it was students who were doing it or it was the company's regular day-to-day, goings on, it's irrelevant. The point here is that Facebook is acting like they're doing you a favor, that they're protecting you. Here's what their spokesperson said. Katie Dormer rejected the company owner's claim, saying that Facebook had conflated his students' activity with the actions of his companies. Quote, "We don't take these actions lightly," she said. "The fact that we took the action and sent the letter means we saw enough evidence." See, they're serious about this. Facebook is cracking down, making sure that your privacy is only violated by Facebook.
This is there was an interesting nugget buried in there about the that what they were doing was they were scraping it and they were using an algorithm to create scores, social scores.
Correct. That's right.
That's what the Chinese government is doing. So
That's
it
right,
looks
sure.
like the Russian government's doing it. We should assume that the U.S. government is doing it. This social score thing, it's on. That was just in the most recent season of Black Mirror.
Right.
That was the first. Right, I think it was Bryce Dallas Howard, who was the actress who was in that episode, that it was basically Facebook, but with social scores, and it would ruin people's lives if they had this low score.
You're a bad citizen.
This is where it's going.
Yeah, the Chinese story, it's been there they've been talking about doing this for a few years, but that to me is the most chilling, the most troubling, that your life can be rated by a government, and then your life can be. It's not that it can be rated; it can then be controlled by a government.
Well,
and
this is not a new idea. This is not a new idea. I was reading Michael Malice's book, which was one of his books, which is about North Korea's former supreme leader, Kim Jong-il, and so the father of Kim Jong-un, who's in there now, and kind of it tells his story from birth to death. Really interesting book. Highly recommend it. But at one point, they talk about how Kim Jong-il created this system to rate every single citizen, every person in North Korea, and it was a 3-tiered rating system. There was kind of like the party allegiance, like the people who had, there's certain names for these, I'm not recalling them, but the people who were like really allied with the party, they're going to do whatever the party says, total stools or tools or whatever. And then there was like the middle level, which was like, average folks who are pro-communism, but they're not like, out there on Front Street with it as much as the party people. And then there were the other people, the lower class, the people who were not to be trusted, you can't let them into the party, the people who were going to be kept an eye on by the police. So, this was back in the 50s and the 60s is when they came up with this. So, it's an old idea that's now being enabled even more so by the technology we have, and even further enabled by the fact that people are voluntarily contributing all the information they possibly can to these databases run by Facebook.
I can't remember. I think it was The Onion, but Onion did a spoof on the CIA, awarding Mark Zuckerberg with its highest award for coming up a way for people to voluntarily tell them everywhere that they're at and everything that they're doing and every aspect of their life. But the point's well taken. That's what troubles me, and this is a societal thing, is that we do all this stuff voluntarily. Yeah. Nobody's forcing me to go on Facebook.
And say what it is that you're eating, tag your location.
Right.
What I've never been able to understand, because I have a young child, I've never once posted a photo of her on any of my social media, but I see people with children, and literally from the moment of their birth, they are creating a record to track virtually every day of this child's life.
Have you seen the creepiest thing that I've ever seen any of my friends do is actually like at birth create a Facebook account?
Yeah, that's strange.
Wow.
That is just, are you nuts?
Yeah,
people are doing this. The Onion was spot on. Like Zuckerberg created, wittingly or unwittingly, he created the ultimate Orwellian tool for authoritarian control.
What they've dreamt about for decades.
Yes.
If we only had this.
Have you seen the Onion's spoof on Facebook? They created their own social network, fake social network company, and their own CEO.
Oh no!
And there's like, if you've ever seen the Onion video channel on YouTube, this is one of the. There's a series of a few of these, and it's pretty entertaining. So check that out. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE. Have the recent announcements about Facebook and the privacy and the crackdowns, has this affected you at all? Have you decided maybe to change your habits as a result of this? Or are you hammering out right now on Facebook your opinions about what Facebook just did?
Probably.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Because there are alternatives. As I explained on RT yesterday, like the decentralized Mastodon, for instance. More coming up, Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink, like we have. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening at home anytime, anywhere from your smartphone. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Pain in my neck, back, and shoulders has really gotten worse.
Relief for body pain is here with Sunny Bay heating pads.
Well, the last thing I want is to take another pill, so what's so good about Sunny Bay heating pads?
Sunny Bay heating pads, made by Biomed DB Design right here in the USA, come in all sizes. Our extra large microwavable heating pad for back pain is designed to be large enough to cover your entire back. It's also perfect to wrap around your legs, knees, or shoulder and neck.
But I need to know they're good quality.
Of course, Sunny Bay heating pads and pillows are often an Amazon choice, and it's easy and most affordable when you purchase your Sunny Bay heating pads right from our website, sunshinepillows.com, or call us 253-678-1361.
Hey, a Sunny Bay heating pad
would make a great gift, right?
Yes, and they start at just $19.99 and free shipping is available. So call 253-678-1361 or shop for your Sunny Bay heating pad at sunshinepillows.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Hey, it is Free Talk Live, and we are here on the live Saturday edition of the program, talking sort of just generally about Facebook and privacy violations that people essentially assist with. I mean, if you're giving it away, then it's not really a violation of your privacy. Facebook claiming here they've cracked down on some Russian companies that were scraping the data from their website, which is just a ridiculous level of hypocrisy, suggesting that Facebook is somehow going to be a good steward for your data.
Those days are long gone.
Yes,
if they ever did exist.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there was probably that time when Facebook was just like a little company that just did the colleges or something back in the day.
Yeah,
probably weren't evil at that point,
right? But I think they were a little ideological, more ideologically pure back then, and that's just based on reading stuff from that period of time and their goals for it, But yeah, once those dollar signs start kicking in, then it makes it hard. And
right, and there's nothing wrong with making money on the internet. I mean, good luck. I mean, great. That's great if you can make some money online, especially if you can do what they've done. I don't begrudge them of providing the service that they have. I mean, people want it, obviously. People
clearly
want to feel like that they're connected to other people, right? That's the whole allure of social media. It's social. You can be social while you're sitting on your phone alone in a room somewhere, or worse, sitting in a room with other people on their phones all together. I mean, who hasn't seen that
at the
happen?
dinner table?
Right.
Not interacting with anybody at the dinner table.
Right. Who hasn't seen that? Everybody's seen that happen.
Everybody has. I've been guilty of it in the past.
I have been too. I've honestly known people that I would describe as lonely people that may have 500 or 600 friends on Facebook. So I don't know if that sort of self-assurance plays a part in the popularity of social media too. I'm much more popular than I really am. I don't know.
They say that people who spend the more time you spend on social media, the lonelier people report themselves as being. Actually.
I've heard that as well.
Interesting.
And it may not be true of everybody, but for people that the analysis I heard of that was that for people that are, let's say, jealous of what their friends are doing, they feel even more disconnected. So like if their friends are posting a picture, they're going on vacation, right? They're jetting around the world, they're doing all these fun things, and the person who's looking at that is like, boy, I wish I could live that life, right? Like I've got to go back to work tomorrow or whatever, and so that could lead to somebody feeling more depressed. Whereas the person who is jetting around the world and having all kinds of fun, they're probably not having the same experience with social media that the other individual is. Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts here. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE like freedom. We've got Larry. He's in Indianapolis listening to WIBC FM. Hello, Larry.
How you doing, boys?
Hey.
Do you care if I say how you doing, boys?
That's fine.
That's fine.
Okay, well, I'm just thinking about this marketing now.
Nope, Mark's not here. He's gone. This is Ian. We've got Ian, Chris, and Vin in the studio tonight. So.
Ian, Chris, and Dan. Okay, y'all young fellas, right?
Well, it depends. Compared to some people.
I'm 62-year-old color boy.
All right.
Okay, youngster. Now, go ahead.
Most of the people that I know will take the mark of the beast if they say they're going to cut them off from their social media and their computer and their iPhone. They'll go ahead and take the mark of the beast. So that's something that they've accomplished now, and that we have tied our lives so much to media and so forth. I have my truck decorated now with just say no, and it's got an iPhone behind it, right? People ask about that. And then on the back panels, it says slaves. And then they say, well, what? Slave. It says slaves.
Slaves, okay. Slaves to the iPhone. Slaves to technology, is that what you're saying?
iPhone. That's what I'm talking about.
What are you talking with us on right now? Are you on a cell phone?
I'm on a flip phone.
Flip phone, okay.
I'm on a flip phone. You know, I had an iPhone, but it's nothing but a miserable waste of time. I mean, all the apps and stuff that people have, and people tell me, Larry, you could do a lot better off in your business if you had a computer and so forth. But the computer is nothing but a waste of time. And what it does is it takes your consciousness away and it makes you dependent on it. And just think if that goes away, then your business goes away. So I just think that, repeat myself, that most people that use an iPhone would take the mark of the beast. If they
I think you might be right about that.
It's going to be taken away.
Larry, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you.
Take care, man.
I don't agree that computers are bad or that computers are evil. I mean, it's just technology. In the same way that, forging a blade from steel is technology, right? Like, you can do good things with a blade. You can do bad things with a blade. You can do good things with the internet, and you can do bad things with the internet. And the iPhone can be, or the Android phone, our smartphones can be the tool to shine a light on the oppressors, like, recording video of the police hurting somebody, or they can be the oppressor, the tool of the oppressor, showing the government your location at any moment in time or whatever. So technology's always been a double-edged sword.
Yeah, and the problem is, and I think what Larry was getting at, is that you create a point of failure for societies when you become reliant on a particular technology. So, we're sitting here in New Hampshire, and there were centuries when there was no electricity here, and people survived here, and they got by. Well, and this is my point. We can't even imagine that, because you imagine if there was no way to get electricity and electricity goes out, but let's imagine that it was for months at a time.
Right. North Korea. Just kidding.
Yeah,
it's not that bad in Pyongyang.
It would be some serious. Well, but see, they're used to it going out. We're so reliant upon it that if it was there's in all of New Hampshire, there's not going to be electricity for 3 months.
Yeah, I'm going to Acapulco.
We're so and that's the same thing, that now that level of connectivity, like Larry's saying, to where you have a business. I know if I had no internet access, my income would be completely
It'd go to
gone.
Nothing.
I'd be completely broke.
Right, we couldn't do this show if it weren't for the internet.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of things that the internet has enabled. Let's continue here, though, with your calls and thoughts. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE, like freedom. He's John in Dover, Delaware, listening to WDOV. Hey, John.
Yeah, hey, fellas.
Hey.
I kind of wanted to touch on the social media topic, and how kind of social media is people's social base anymore, and how real socializing has become almost an unacceptable thing.
Now, how old are you, if I can ask, John?
Oh, I'm 39.
Okay, so you're Generation X or close, sort of in late Generation X. So you've seen this on the rise. So have you observed that amongst your friends and family members and coworkers?
Sure, man. Like you guys were just saying, everybody's at the dinner table and no one's conversating amongst each other. Everybody's in their phone and in their own little world. I was at McDonald's. Dad at McDonald's up the road. It was shut down for a couple weeks because they were doing some repairs. And I like an Egg McMuffin in the morning like any man, so I ride my bike down there to grab an Egg McMuffin. I go in there, finally opened, and there's no more cashiers. Everything's done on a computer screen. So I figured, why am I paying $6 for an egg on a muffin with cheese if nobody's going to, be there to throw in some service with a smile?
Yeah, they haven't reduced the price, is what you're saying.
Right.
The price is still the same, but you don't actually have a human interaction.
Well, to be fair, that's minimum wage laws.
Well, that's the fight for 15 right there.
Exactly.
That's the fight for 15 got you
writ large.
Yeah, if you fight for 15, you're really fighting for robots to take your order. So there you
Pretty
go.
much.
Unbelievable, guys. Anyway, that's all I got to say.
John, thanks for your comments. I definitely appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. I mean, if you have friends with phones and family with phones, and you've been at a dinner table, then you know this experience. I mean, it's very, very prolific. We've read stories about young people in the United States today and how, when we were teenagers, you went out, you did things, you hung out, whether it was going to the mall or going out to some sort of game or whatever it is, or the arcade that teenagers would have done when we were growing up. That doesn't happen anymore, apparently. They are hanging out less. They consider hanging out to be sitting in a chat room or on whatever app that they happen to be on. So they believe they're hanging out with their friend, even if their friend is halfway across the town and they're not actually in the same room together.
Well, being a little bit older, just by a couple years than you young fellas, But when video games came along, that's when I first noticed a real sea change. So
Really?
before that, and I'm saying before you could go to a video arcade.
Arcade, sure.
Yeah. But that would be something we would do socially.
Right.
That
Arcades
was okay.
were social
It
engagement.
was.
Yes.
Right. And it was competition and it was all this stuff. But once the video game machine came into our home in the form of an Atari 2600,
Yep.
things shifted a little bit. And then it was, we weren't leaving. Kids were coming over to our house until they
Right.
got their own. But that to
Right.
me was kind of the beginning of the shift to a little more isolation.
Absolutely.
I think that's what we're
Perspective.
seeing, yeah.
There's more on the way here. You can share your thoughts. Are things going to get better from here, or is it going to get a lot worse? 855-450 free like freedom, and also our Discord is available to you at discord.lrn.fm. You can hop in the on-air call-in lines there, and you'll sound great. Hour 2's coming up.
It's been said, any society is only 3 missed meals away from chaos. Those times may be near. Think about it. Our country faces multiple terrorist threats and aggressions from Russia and North Korea. Social unrest and violent marches yet again may lead to looting of stores and city shutdowns. And our crumbling infrastructure leaves our power grid vulnerable to long-term outages from a single cyber attack. When the chaos from any one of these threats arises, the government knows it can't provide during a widespread national emergency. That's why you need your own plan for self-reliance. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. Get a 4-week survival food supply for only $99. That includes breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Order online at preparewithgcn.com. $99 for 4 weeks of survival food that tastes like homemade cooking and lasts up to 25 years. From My Patriot Supply. Get your kits today at preparewithgcn.com. Free shipping is included. Preparewithgcn.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it! You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of October 13th and 14th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.60 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,218 per ounce. Zen is trading at $14, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,279. Antiwar.com reports Saudi Arabia has been seen as virtually untouchable from a public relations perspective for years. Evidence of ties to 9/11 plotters and war crimes in Yemen have been sparsely reported in Western media, which has tended to have a very upbeat spin on Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. That did not come cheap, however. Saudi Arabia spends tens of millions of dollars annually on influence campaigns in the U.S. alone. As the outrage grows over the disappearance and probable murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, however, those dearly bought gains could be drying up. Among the biggest PR coups of 2018 was the WWE Greatest Royal Rumble in Jeddah. Estimated to have cost the kingdom tens of millions of dollars, the wrestling event was broadcast internationally, with the WWE repeatedly playing pre-made packages portraying the kingdom as a progressive place with modern values. Not that that went off without a hitch. The overuse of the video package had many mocking the fairly transparent propaganda. One top wrestler was denied entry into Saudi Arabia because his parents are of Syrian descent. The hype around letting women Women Drive in Saudi Arabia was greatly undercut by them refusing to allow any women on the show. The second of the series of pricey WWE shows is scheduled for November 2nd in Riyadh. The backlash against Saudi Arabia, however, and the rising U.S.-Saudi tensions have raised reports that the show may be canceled outright. The WWE has neither confirmed nor denied, saying only that they are monitoring the situation. Industry reports suggest that there are contractual issues to be resolved. Either way, the show is likely to dramatically tone back the propaganda packages. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. UPI reports a small but growing number of children under the age of 2 in the United States are not being immunized, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. A report on a 2017 immunization survey indicated 1.3% of children born in 2015 did not receive the recommended vaccinations. The figure is markedly higher than it was in 2011, when just 0.9% of those between 19 and 35 months received no vaccinations. The figure was 0.3% in 2001. The CDC said the availability of health insurance and the children's locations played a role in vaccination compliance. The report said uninsured and Medicaid-insured children and those living in rural areas were less likely to be vaccinated than those with private insurance living in or near a city. About 7% of uninsured children did not receive vaccinations, compared to 0.8% of children with private insurance. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community, services that provide freedom, utility, and privacy. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community, HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports the Republican candidate for governor of Pennsylvania threatened to stomp on the face of his Democratic opponent in a social media video on Friday and then walked back his comments, saying he made a mistake in his choice of words. Republican Scott Wagner is trailing well behind incumbent Democrat Tom Wolf in the polls ahead of the November 6th election, and the video was posted on Wagner's campaign Facebook page as part of an acrimonious battle in one of the most populous U.S. states. Wagner said in the video, "Governor Wolf, let me tell you what, between now and November 6th, you'd better put on a catcher's mask on your face because I'm going to stomp all over your face with golf spikes." A few hours later, the video was taken down. Wagner explained, "I may have chosen a poor metaphor. I shouldn't have said what I said." On his Facebook page, Wolf encouraged people to share the original video if they agreed that Scott Wagner should not be the governor of Pennsylvania. Steve Scalise, the number 3 Republican in the U.S. House of Representatives, said, "These comments are totally unacceptable. As I've said many times before, there is absolutely no place in our politics for this kind of rhetoric." This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
A report released Tuesday by physicists at Stanford University revealed that the entire known universe, from the whole of human civilization to the totality of matter and energy, is actually the fictional setting of a cop show called Hard Case. According to authors of the report, existence as we know it was created solely to provide the framework for the primetime drama that airs weekly in a parallel universe, and that every historical event prior to the show's September 2008 pilot, including the Renaissance, World War II, evolution, the September 11th attacks, and the presidential administrations of Washington through Clinton, never actually happened and are merely part of the elaborate backstory crafted by Hard Case creator and showrunner Dominic Egan.
We used to believe that our universe operated under immutable laws of thermodynamics and gravitational relativity, but now we know everything just comes from the minds of Hard Case's 12 staff writers. Overall, it seems like a very well-written show.
Physicists have theorized that the universe as we know it will cease to exist whenever Hard Case airs its final episode.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of the program. As always, you can join us here toll-free. Take control of the airwaves. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And also there's the Discord on-air call-in lines, which are open and available to you over at discord.lrn.fm, so jump into those. You do need the Discord app, though, if you want to use those call-in lines, which is a free app, so you can download that, create your account, and then just click on discord.lrn.fm, and that'll get you right into our server. With you in the studio tonight, it's me, Ian.
And Vin.
Chris has taken off. He was actually just stopping in, I guess, and so we had started the show talking about Facebook and their just blatant hypocrisy of cracking down on a couple of Russian companies that were allegedly using data that they were scraping, as it's called, which is basically another term for downloading, off of Facebook, and Facebook claiming that they were somehow doing you a favor by protecting you from these dastardly Russian data scrapers, when, of course, Facebook's doing the exact same thing for pretty much any government that would ask them to do it. They've already, through your consent, if you're a Facebook user, built a data profile. They've got 10 years of my life that's, always going to be there. You don't control that. It's something that you can go into and, you have the illusion of being able to delete a photograph, or you have the illusion of being able to delete your update that you might have put, oh, whoops, I messed up. I didn't mean to type that. You went and you deleted it. Well, guess what? It's still in their database.
It's not gone.
Yeah, they've got everything that you've ever typed into their database, and even if you deactivate your account, because they won't let you delete them anymore.
Right.
Even if you deactivate your account, it's still in their database, and even if you were to delete your account, I bet you it would still be in their database.
Yeah, of course.
So everything you've given them, you've given to them.
Yep.
And including the consent, likely as part of their terms of service, to utilize those photos and that data, not just to turn it over to law enforcement, but also to use them in their advertising or whatever other way they want to, make money off of that. So, what do you do about it? Well, you could leave Facebook if you wanted to.
It's an option.
That's an option. I would recommend it. I mean, to me, it's been a big time saver for me. I spent a lot of time, and you've done some of this recently yourself, Vin. I know that on Twitter you made an announcement recently saying you were no longer going to respond to the trolls, basically, or to anybody.
So basically,
on Twitter.
Almost no one gets a response,
unless it's somebody you really want to hear from, right? Like
it's the ones that I will respond to is sometimes if somebody is asking something related to my company Cointext, and another developer or something saying, "Oh, is there a link to like your API where I could?" And it's just quick for me to do that, but to respond to someone who's making a criticism, positive or negative. No more. I haven't done anything on my personal Facebook, posted anything for years on that, but like my Facebook page, also no longer responding.
Yep.
I'm not really sure about like fully deleting it, but I'm just not using it anymore.
You can deactivate it.
You can deactivate it. So
the only way they'll delete your account when you're going through the deactivation process, there's another option to opt into deletion when you die. And you have to, I think you have to like identify a person from whom Facebook can then get notice of your demise. And I don't know what Facebook's going to require to prove that you're actually dead.
Death certificate, I would assume. That's
right? Which is crazy, right?
Yeah,
it's crazy. The idea that you would have to upload a death certificate to this, internet company to get them to remove your account. I mean, you have to opt into that if you want that to be something they do in the future.
That is so creepy.
It's crazy.
It's really dystopian. And to think that we've come in basically 10 years. It's basically been about 10 years with Facebook. That in one decade, it's gotten to the point where you're talking about a social institution. When you get to the point where, we need to see a death certificate, that's a social institution.
Well, and the lines are blurred, right? And there are some people that want to blur them even further. And the crazy thing is, the call is coming from both the left and the right.
Oh, sure.
So the first group that I'd heard this call from, the call of Facebook should be a utility. Facebook's like the power company. Everybody needs Facebook. You ought to have a right to a Facebook account. We ought to have the government run Facebook, right? To take essentially the government to nationalize Facebook, to make this a tool that everybody has access to, and that is, required. Or some would probably want it to be required, but to basically make it so that Facebook's no longer a private company that can set its own rules, that it's run by the government. And so I first heard that from the left. And then I heard basically the same call coming from Christopher Cantwell, who is on the far right. and they're saying, oh well, Facebook is a leftist organization, and the left is using these social media platforms and Twitter, Facebook and Twitter. They're being used by the left. They're run by the left they're deleting right-wing, pages and things like that. And so therefore, they're calling for Facebook to be regulated and essentially for Facebook's code to be audited.
Oh, no.
And which is basically the same thing.
Yep.
Like if you create, and this is what I tried to explain to Chris. I'm like, Chris, you know better than this. Why are you saying these things? Because he used to be a real anarchist, at least purportedly. Seemed to understand the concepts really well. Like if you let the government audit code on a website, that's going to be an unprecedented, at least in the United States, that's going to be an unprecedented step into total control over, all the internet and all website code. Because if you let them do it to Facebook, well, then what? You've created the government code auditing office, and now they've got the right or the ability or the so-called authority to come in and demand to see your algorithms to make sure that you're treating everybody's posts fairly. Because that's the excuse, right? Is they're not treating us fair. They're benefiting the left, and so we want to make sure that they are treating everybody fairly. I said, well, Chris, you don't sound any different from the commies. Right now.
Yeah, because really what he's asking for is not just, it's one thing to audit code as in like, hey, put your code up in a repository and we want to look at the code. But
no, this is where they would say, this is unfair, you need to change the code.
Well, or they would need like root access to the servers, because who's to say, okay, I showed you the code, but they're
to say that's the real code.
Right, they're going to say, no, we need to see what's running on the servers right now, which means we need to have root access, which is the equivalent of you have a business. Even in the strictest code enforcement regime, and I mean, I went through this with the code enforcement in Las Vegas, most times the law says that there is at least some period of time, a window, and it's usually like during business hours when if you're a business licensee, then yes, code enforcement could enter. But if it's not business hours, they can't commit. But in this case, it would be like they have root access all the time.
Anytime. Right, because you could change the code anytime.
Exactly.
Right. So it's a crazy proposal, but it's
totally crazy.
It's interesting that it's coming from both sides. It's just a slightly tweaked, version of the exact same proposal. Whether they're saying straight out, from the left, hey, Facebook should be taken over by the government and be a utility, versus the right saying Facebook needs to be audited by the government so they can make sure that they're playing safe or playing fair with all the posts on it, which is essentially saying Facebook should be run by the government because, well, they would be creating the rules. They would be saying, oh, well, if you're going to run a social media platform, then it has to be fair to everybody, which is insane because as soon as they do it to one, they're going to be able to do it to anybody. And I try to say, look, the solution here, if you're frustrated with Facebook, if you're frustrated with Twitter and the takedowns, and that they're going to keep coming, this isn't the beginning and the end, it's just the beginning. So if you're frustrated at this point, start building the alternative. You don't have to delete your account, but start building, although I'd recommend it, but start building the alternative. At least then you could use your current account to say, hey, I'm over here now, which is what I did for a while. I stopped using my Facebook account in January of this year, and I put up like a notice on there saying, hey, I'm not using Facebook anymore, but here's where you can find me.
Oh, that's good.
So here are the places where you can go if you want to follow me over here, follow me over there, whatever. And then when Mastodon, the Libertarians launched their own Mastodon instance this summer, I joined that because I'd heard good things about Mastodon from our guy who hosts on Friday night, Chris Wade from Think Penguin. He's like a super privacy-oriented, like, Linux geek guy who wants to audit everybody's code and open source everything. And if he says this is good software, it's good software. And so I joined up the Liberdon server, and people can follow me there now. And if Facebook can't say anything about what I say over there. And of course, Mastodon is decentralized, so there are thousands of different Mastodon servers on the planet right now. So you find the one that looks right to you, because they all have different rules.
Like it.
And they can federate with one another, which means they can decide which other servers to connect to allow you to sort of search amongst them and connect with people on different servers.
That's the way to go.
There's more coming up. It's Free Talk Live.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Your imagination is limitless. Your potential is limitless. We create websites, mobile apps, and animation. Let's design your story. SunstoneDigitalTech.com. 20% off. Quick, call 888-211-7519. We are digital. Call now, 888-211-7519. Sunstone Digital Tech.
Limited time, limitless digital experiences.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save ATPurse.com.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at SurvivorMax.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can dial toll-free to join us here on the radio. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Ian and Vin here on our live Saturday edition of Free Talk Live. I do want to let you know about a way to protect your family and your property. It's the Blink Home Security System. Blink's cameras are motion activated and they're wireless, so they don't take long to set up at all. The big hassle with these wired camera systems is running the damn wires from wherever it is the box is to wherever it is your cameras are. Good luck with that, or you have to hire somebody, and that adds a lot of cost. The Blink system's actually more affordable than those systems, and it sets up within moments. You open the box, you put the batteries in that are included, and then you just put the cameras up in your home wherever you want them. If you put it in the wrong place, just move it. No problem.
Easy.
It's wireless. And it's all set up via your Wi-Fi enabled device, so smartphone, tablet, whatever you want to use to set up when you want the cameras to run, and how long the clips need to be that they send you, because they'll send you clips if something moves in front of the camera during the times you specify. And no contracts and no subscriptions, plus Blink works with Alexa, and that's because Blink was purchased by Amazon. They like the product so much, they said, we want to own this, and now they do. You can get 3 Blink cameras for less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off by going to blinkprotect.com/FTL. That's blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live, again, to save that 15%. Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts. She is Sarah on the line in New Mexico. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Sarah.
Yes, I just wanted to congratulate Free Talk. The show is played on the 1350, the Progressive Talk station here at AM.
That's right, KABQ in Albuquerque, the formerly Clear Channel, now iHeartMedia progressive talk station. One of the few progressive talk stations remaining in the United States, by the way. I'm glad you finally found us there, Sarah. We've been on there for a couple of years now.
Couple of years? Monday through Friday?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I just recently found you guys like maybe a month ago, Monday through Friday. And Saturday, it's not late, and Sunday, it's 1 hour late.
It is exciting to find your favorite radio show on the radio, or your favorite internet show on the radio. And I happen to enjoy being on the radio. This was formed originally as a radio show, but the same day we first did Free Talk Live was also the same day we put an MP3 archive up online. So we've always had MP3 versions and eventually streaming versions of Free Talk Live. Yeah, so there you go, Sarah. Was that all you were calling to tell us? Was that you're excited that you found us on the radio?
Well, I get to hear myself conversing with you, and I sound really good. And I get to hear what I said, and I
because it's all about you, isn't it, Sarah?
Yeah, it's all about Sarah.
The world revolves around you.
Well, and then plus I get to really listen to what you guys said. And sometimes it's hard to hear what your response was. That's why I respond back like in kind of a off way, because but when I hear the show again, I could clearly hear what Mark and your response was.
There you go.
After the show was over. And I think that you guys are, I think it's a good luck that we got Netflix into our Albuquerque.
Oh, yeah. You called about that the other day. Netflix is buying a very large production facility, like a movie production kind of facility that already exists in Albuquerque. Like, I guess they filmed some of Breaking Bad at this facility, so Netflix is now the new owner of that, and Sarah called to let us know. Thanks, Sarah, for the call tonight. And by the way, I will make the correction here. It's only been a year. It feels like a couple, but KABQ came on with Free Talk Live actually almost exactly a year ago. It was the 16th of October in 2017. So I was glad to still be on there. We're one of the only shows, Vin, by the way. I don't know if you knew this, but we got 190 radio stations,
I didn't know that.
AM and FM. But we're one of the only shows, probably the only issues-oriented show, because there's like doctor shows and there's gardening shows. Those shows appear on both progressive and conservative talk stations. But I think we're the only issues-oriented show that actually appears on both progressive and conservative talk stations across the United States. We hold that title, and there's really nobody else that can do it, because everybody else is so partisan.
Yep.
All the other talk show hosts out there are so either in their Republican camp or in their Democrat camp, and they, that's it. And so you don't see any cross-pollination between those shows. But with Free Talk Live, even though there aren't many progressive talk stations left in the United States, there's still a handful, and we're on most of them.
Well, it is that I think most people can agree that they don't want violence placed against them, where the progressives and conservatives disagree is where they think it's appropriate to enforce violence against others. And we, on the other hand, just think, no, how about we don't enforce How about we don't use violent coercion as a tool
You're
at
so
all?
radical. I mean, that's so radical, so crazy.
Don't hurt people and don't take their stuff. I know it's way out there. We teach it to 2-year-olds.
That's what I said. I described it at. I was recently interviewed by the board of the executive board, or not executive, the editorial board at the Keene Sentinel, because I'm running for state senate here, and that's what I used to describe this. It's like, yeah, this is basically preschool level philosophy.
That's right.
I mean, that's what we're talking about here. Is here we are in the year 2018 in the 21st century, and humans have still not really absorbed the lessons that they were taught in preschool.
Yes, that's right.
Like, they might have absorbed them while they were on the preschool, playground or whatever, but as soon as they grew up and became, I'm putting quotes around that, and became adults, well, then all of a sudden the whole don't use violence against people, don't aggress against others, don't hit the other kid, just because you don't like the way he looks or whatever, that just went out the window.
Yeah, don't just take their stuff from
It's not
them.
yours.
It's not yours. Don't just take it.
Sharing's a nice value, but it has to be done voluntarily.
That's right.
Otherwise, it's not a value at all.
Yeah, it is. It is amazing, and so that's why it's not surprising to me that a progressive station would be like, "Oh yeah, we'll play this because I agree with about 85% of that," and then a conservative station would be like, "Yeah, we'll play this because I agree with 85% of that," and then that's really about them going within themselves and cleaning out that 15% of crud that's in there, because that's really what it is. They've got 15% that they need to work on.
You're being very nice by saying it's only 15%.
I know. Well, I'm going with the ideal progressive in this case, or the ideal right winger in the other case. Yeah, it's probably a little more than 15%, but that's just for them to get it cleared out within their own heart.
And that's what needs to happen. I mean, because that's all that has to do, is that people just have to change what's in their hearts. They have to change their understanding of what all of this is, because the government is really good at making people believe that it's something different than what it really is.
That's right.
That it's something more than just the most, as Harry Brown put it, the Libertarian presidential candidate from 1996 and 2000, that it's something different than just the most successful criminal gang in any given geographic area.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
He said they were gangs that flew flags out in front of their offices. Ultimately,
well, all gangs fly flags.
Yeah,
the flying a flag, whether it's a bandana in a pocket or whether it's on the back of a biker jacket, everybody's
or a thin blue line.
Yeah.
We got time for you. If you want to join us here, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733, and you can also call us on the Discord on-air call-in line room. Head over to discord.lrn.fm, jump in there, we'll get you on the air, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Live Saturday edition of Free Talk Live continues here in moments on the radio and internet and satellite and phones.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original, most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for Life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthrodex for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for Life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. convictions. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. The toll-free number here for you is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We're going to talk more about the technology and how it has done some not-so-great things for people's lives. It's done some great things as well, but we're going to focus on sexting coming up here in moments and how that's putting people in legal jeopardy, young people at a high school in New Jersey. But first, with you tonight, it's Ian.
And Vin.
Also, I want to make sure you know about Zencash changing their brand to Horizon. You go to horizon.global, HORIZEN.global. You can learn more about what happened there, why they've made the change. It's because, well, Horizon's a much larger vision than just a cryptocurrency that's got some great privacy technology baked into it. It's also, they want to do privacy on more than that. They've got active private chat on the Horizon network already, and they want to add in some other features down the line like private web browsing.
That's cool.
We don't know when that's coming, but they've said that that's something they're working on. So go learn more at horizon.global. And if you want to win some free Zen, free money, 1.75 Zen is up for grabs. The giveaway is coming up on Wednesday. And here's how you enter. You email your transparent Zen address. So you have to have a Zen wallet set up. Get the public address and email that to Daryl at freetalklive.com. That's Daryl with 2 R's. Daryl at freetalklive.com. And in the subject line of the email, so in the actual email, you put your Zen address. In the subject line, you put a number between 1 and 999, and then whoever gets closest to the number that Daryl has randomly chosen will win 1.75 Zen coming up on Wednesday.
Love it.
So if you want to get into that contest, once again, email Daryl at freetalklive.com, subject line, number between 1 and 999, and in the email, include your Zen address. And you could win. And you'll also be entered for the grand prize, which will be 2 Zen. That'll be given later on down the line.
Sweet.
Yeah, there you go. Horizon.global. Learn more there as we go to your phone calls and thoughts. You can bring up what you want. He's Hubert on the line, watching us on Twitch at twitch.lrn.fm. That's our video streaming site. Go ahead, Hubert.
Hey, I'd like to talk about who has it harder in America, women or men?
Who has it harder in what way?
In any way. Like, if day-to-day life, do men or women have it harder?
Well, I mean, I think you have to really kind of drill down into what area that you're talking about. I mean, it's easier in a lot of ways to be a woman, and it's easier in a lot of ways probably to be a man.
You know, I will say something on this. I have been thinking about this a lot lately. Because we have a second child on the way.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and we just found out that it is a girl.
All right.
And I had been thinking during these whole Kavanaugh Supreme Court nomination hearing, I had been thinking about what it's going to be like for young men now. And I was thinking, wow, I think it would be much harder to raise a boy in this environment than to raise a girl. I think at the moment, it's probably a lot less stressful being a young woman, let's say a teenager. Mm-hmm. It's probably a lot less stressful being a female than being a male and trying to figure out your place in society. Because what it is, I think the modern ideal of a woman it's been around for probably about a generation or two, but I think things are changing when it comes to being a man. So it's like in some ways I'm very glad that I'm having another girl, because I feel like it's going to be a much easier road for young women than young men.
Right, rather than having to navigate these strange waters and these weird times where you've got colleges now saying that you have to ask permission on every single step of the way towards sex. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, very like, oh, can I hold your hand now? Right. Is that acceptable?
Can I slide my hand up your leg?
Exactly.
Can I kiss you here? Can I kiss you there? I mean, it just sounds ridiculous, but that's actually the policy at least a few different colleges. And from what I understand, it's spread to more than a few because this was news 3 years ago when we first talked about it here on Free Talk Live. And then, of course, the question is how long before that becomes policy on the state level? How long before that becomes, I mean, it sounds crazy.
But culture is a leading indicator of politics, and universities are cultural incubators. So,
Hubert, thanks for the call. I appreciate you bringing that up. I mean, that's a conversation that could go on for days, over an hour. I mean,
years, really.
The differences between what it's like to be a male or female, and of course, we don't really know because we're both guys, so we don't know. We don't have any real way of comparing that. I mean, it's easier for us to pee standing up. So there's a lot of things.
That is easier.
There are some things easier for us to reach things on high shelves, easier for us to open jars.
That's pretty much my job at home. That's all I do. I sit around until I'm needed to open a jar or reach something off a shelf. So.
Well, the sad part is robots will be able to open jars in short order.
Right. I'm going to be out of a job.
So if you want to join us here, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Here's a story out of Ridgewood, New Jersey. CBS New York reporting another high school sexting scandal is rocking a New Jersey community. Rocking it. This is how big of a deal this is, supposedly. And has school officials urging parents to check their children's phones. The superintendent of Ridgewood Public Schools says local police are investigating, quote, possible sexting incidents, unquote, involving school-age students within the district. Now, I got to say that, when I think of things the police should be doing, I don't consider investigating high school students taking nude photos of themselves to being one of the things police should be spending their time on.
But yet that's exactly what they will spend their time on.
I think if you've got police, and we do, if you've got a monopoly system that we have, we would like to see that change, but for now, it's there. They should be doing things like investigating, murders, rapes, property destruction, arson, that kind of thing, especially in places like New Jersey, where I'm sure this is not the only so-called crime that's on the the list of things they could
in New Jersey?
Yeah.
No, there's no crime in New Jersey, sir.
Now, to be fair, there are some nicer areas of Jersey from what I hear. I've just never been to them. According to a release sent to parents of children in grades 6 through 12, the explicit images were not shared on school property, but school officials are working with Ridgewood Police to find out who was involved. Quote, this is the superintendent, Daniel Fishbein. He said, quote, I want all parents to be advised that the possession and or transmission of sexually revealing or explicit images or any material of that nature constitutes the very serious crime of possession and transmission of child pornography, he said. Which... You'd asked a question when I mentioned this to you during the break, Vin, was like, well, doesn't that mean that the parents would be at risk of charges if they actually saw said photos?
Yeah, if they knew that those photos were on a phone that they were paying the bill for, don't they make themselves liable? Right,
because you have to be knowingly in possession of those things in order to be generally convicted.
And then the question becomes... Are you guilty of, because there have been a few cases where someone had photos of themselves nude.
Oh, yeah.
And they were charged.
Someone who's a teenager.
Yes, who was a teenager had photos of themselves nude, and they were thusly charged with possession of, or they had sent it. And so they were charged with the transmission of child pornography for sending a photo of themselves. Which I find
manufacturing and transmission, yeah.
That's insanity.
And it's not just happened once. It's happened on more than one occasion.
Right.
In some cases, in some states, it's fully legal for these people to actually have sex. So like here in New Hampshire, the age of consent is 16.
Yeah.
But the age of consent for photographing the act is 18. So if you were to take a photo of an act that is completely legal, it becomes a felony at that point to have a photo of an act that was completely legal. I mean,
that you took yourself.
That you took yourself.
Of yourself.
Of yourself, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's how insane we're talking about here. But, they make it out to be like this is so bad and it's so dangerous. But the reality of it is it's also so common. And it wasn't when we were in school. I mean, it was pretty rare if you actually were able to find a nude photo of anybody else that was actually in your school.
Maybe I shouldn't.
I have a story.
Myself and my girlfriend when we were 16. Let's just say
Polaroids.
Cameras existed.
Yeah,
cameras existed, and you're young.
But film development would get you caught. Like if you took a roll of film and you tried to take it to the developer, you're going to get busted. Whereas if it was Polaroids, then. So it must have been Polaroids, right?
Must have been.
Yeah. All right, more coming up here in moments. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We'll talk more about this investigation into the alleged child pornographers, which is to say the students at the school.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of LicoChops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved LicoChops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try LicoChops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
A new Gallup poll found that the GOP has an overwhelming advantage among young people who look like old men. The poll shows Republicans hold a solid lead among the coveted elderly youth demographic, including 18 to 24-year-olds who wear suspenders and bow ties to class every day. I'm joined by Republican strategist Rob Powell. These are pretty encouraging numbers for the GOP, aren't they?
Of course, it's very encouraging. Millennials who look like they're permanently dressed for boat trips are a rapidly growing segment of the population.
And according to the survey, the prematurely aged are also very politically active.
Absolutely. Only about 20% of young people vote overall, but there's almost 100% turnout among youth that dress like a dad from a 1950s sitcom.
Now, what about the criticism that the GOP only appeals to white men?
Not true. We also have a lot of support among sorority girls that wear pantsuits and pearls, paunchy Chinese college students, and we're making inroads among African American ham radio enthusiasts.
This is the Onion News Network.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Hey, it's Free Talk Live. You can dial in toll-free, take control of the airwaves, bring up whatever you want. Asked in the chat room here on our Twitch, because there's a Twitch chat room, and then there's the chat room that actually more people talk in, which is the Discord chat over at discord.lrn.fm. But I do monitor the Twitch chat for the few folks that do come in there and say things. And somebody came in there, Atomic Pillow 5 asks, what the hell is this?
What is what?
I think the whole thing. This show, because we're kind of different, Vin, compared to what's usually on Twitch. Twitch is a platform that was launched, I don't know how many years ago, but probably several, for the purposes of video games.
Right.
Where people play games and, comment on them as they're playing. There's usually like a video of the person playing superimposed over top of the game itself. And that's like 95% of what you're going to find on Twitch. But a couple years ago, they expanded their categories to allow for other things to stream on Twitch. And so when YouTube kicked us to the curb on our live stream, just pulled the plug on a live stream once and didn't bother to tell us why, it was like, you violated our community terms of service. Well, how? Well, we're not going to tell you. So I was like, all right, well, we want to find another provider. We're still on YouTube, but again, it's that idea of let's get on multiple platforms. That way, if one cancels you, then at least you're somewhere else. And so Twitch has been great. It's been a great platform. It does HD quality video, and it does it very, very well. And they, I really don't have a whole lot bad to say about Twitch. They've got some silly rules, behind the scenes, like there's the hypocritical one that you can have a video game with all manner of gunplay and violence, but if you bring out a real gun in your actual studio, apparently that's against the rules. So they've got some ridiculous kind of rules, but beyond that, they're still better platform than YouTube. So that is what this is. It is an open phones panel discussion with a pro-liberty viewpoint, actually heard on the radio. So for those of you watching on Twitch who don't know what you've run into, that's what you found. And we're on a lot of radio stations across the country. We take calls. We take also the toll-free number 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. And also we take calls on our Discord chat, which we launched at the same time as launching Twitch. And the idea there was I'd noticed from watching Twitch that a lot of these Twitch people have their own Discord server where their fans can go and kind of hang out and chat.
Right.
And years ago, we had an IRC server, which old schoolers on the internet know what that is. It stands for Internet Relay Chat. And that's a technology and a protocol that hasn't really changed in the last 30 years.
That's right.
So, you can't do cool stuff like, put a picture in an internet relay chat or connect directly to people and have a voice or video conversation with them. So Discord allows that, and you can get on our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. We're going to continue with your calls and thoughts. We're talking about the so-called child pornography of sexting amongst high schoolers. They're being accused of it right now in a school system in Ridgewood, New Jersey. We'll continue that story, but I do want you to know about Bitcoin.com. That's where you can go to learn the basics about cryptocurrency. You hear us talking about cryptocurrency pretty often on Free Talk Live, and you may feel a little overwhelmed, a little unsure. You've seen the news headlines, the old bankers bashing the technology, and you're uncertain about what this is all about. There's an academy that you can go take for free over at Bitcoin.com. They've got the Bitcoin.com Academy that's going to run you through the basics of what Bitcoin is, where it came from, the history there, and how it works. It'll give you a basic rundown of that. So it's a great place to get started. Plus, you can get your first Bitcoin BTC or Bitcoin Cash through Bitcoin.com. So get on over there to Bitcoin.com. As we go to the phones, to the fun, he's Hubert in Indiana, listening to WIBC. Hello, Hubert. No, wait a minute.
Did we just have
If this is the same caller, you're only allowed to call once per night. Hello?
No, I was surprised that someone else.
It's a different Hubert.
They had the S at the end of their name. I'm Hubert.
You are definitely a different Hubert.
Yeah,
All
you're
right,
a different. You might be the father of the other Hubert.
I don't know.
Oh no, I am not.
All right. Well, here you are,
fair
Hubert.
enough.
Thanks for calling in tonight. What are your thoughts?
Well, here's my question to you now.
Yeah.
I'm 56, and my lovely wife is 55.
Okay.
And we got together when I was 18 and she was 17.
Wow.
And I know I took a Polaroid of her naked
Uh-oh.
way back, and it's in a box somewhere here in my house. I've been living here over 25 years in this house. So if someone came across that, could I be prosecuted for having child pornography of a Polaroid of my wife who's 55 years old?
Yes, this has happened.
The answer is yes, you
could. This has happened, actually.
Really?
Yes.
In regards to old photos?
Yes, old photos. But I believe that what it was that it was, and it was a similar situation of two people. They ended up getting married, but it had that much time hadn't passed. But I guess somebody came across some photos, but it was both of them took these photos of themselves when they were underage, and now they were of age, married together. Somehow this came out, and either one or both of them actually ended up being prosecuted. Believe it or not.
That is crazy.
It's insane. Yes. It's insane.
Well, thank you, guys. I love your program. Thank you very much, and I listen all the time.
Thanks for the call. Don't share that photo with anybody.
No.
I don't even know where it is. It's in a box. She's probably got it in a firebox somewhere.
Thanks for the call tonight, man. I appreciate hearing from you. And that's really ultimately the issue here with the sexting is the sharing aspect of it.
That's right.
Because Vin, you had talked about how you might have had some Polaroids in the past, but you probably don't have them anymore.
No,
in case anybody wanted to raid your house.
I think I'm in his boat to where it's like those things vanished at some point along the way.
But you had no idea you were committing a criminal act in that particular case.
Well, why would you? We were both 16 or so. Why would you think? It's so ludicrous to think that taking a picture of yourself could ever be a crime.
Well, right, because the purported reason to make child pornography is illegal is because of the abuse of children that happens when you actually create real child pornography.
Correct.
And then so again, there's the intention of the law, right? And we see this all the time with government, whether it be, the war on drugs or whatever, you can look at any government program. The intention is to stop kids from being abused. Okay, great. Good intentions, no doubt about it. But the road to hell, of course, is paved with them. And so not only do you have the stopping of actual child pornographers, because that still does happen, because there really is actual abusive, child pornography out there. But then there's this other category of, I'm sorry, not only are they not children because they're developed, okay,
Right.
so the definition of a child is somebody who has not hit puberty yet.
That's right.
So we're talking about teenagers here. These people, whether they're fully developed or not, is another question, but
Right.
they're definitely not children. So, just on that alone, it's not child pornography.
Right.
It's also not really pornography if you're just talking about a nude photo. I mean,
right.
Pornography is generally considered to be sexual photos,
acts.
an
Yes.
act of some sort
Yes.
that's going on so the photo depicts the act that was
Yes.
going on.
Yes.
There have been photos of naked people, and including young naked people, that have been included in art books
forever.
People have been painting them, but
Forever.
and then photos came out, and people have been taking those for a long time. I remember years ago on Free Talk Live, somebody called in to talk about a specific photographic artist who had their books published at like Barnes and Noble, which was just pictures of children naked. That's what it was.
It's out there.
And the argument there is, oh, well, that's not pornography because it's art. Now, obviously, that definition is going to differ in people's minds, and some people are going to say that, well, even that art is still pornographic because in the mind of the person looking at it, they're titillated by it or they're turned on by it. But I got news for you. Before then, those people were turned on by the Sears catalog.
Sure. Sure. I mean, what I find amazing is that, they said, a community is being rocked by this. But the idea
scandal
is, are you that disconnected from reality that you don't think that this is just anybody who thinks about it for a second has got to say this is completely widespread, because you've got
amongst high schoolers,
you have teenagers who almost all of them have a digital camera, video and still, and mind you, they have been online. If they're in high school now, they've been online practically their whole lives.
Right.
Probably the first time that they encountered and became familiar with hardcore pornography, they were probably 10 or 11 years old.
Could be.
Because it's out there.
Yep.
It's so out there to say that if they've got internet access, they've got access to it. They've got access on their phone.
In the mid 1980s, when I was in kindergarten or first grade or whenever it was, very early in elementary school, I remember sliding around. Some kid brought their dad's Playboy on the bus.
Of course,
we were sliding that under the seats back and forth to one another, checking them out.
And now imagine if you had access to literally everything, and it's right there in your room 24 hours a day. Of course they're taking pictures of themselves. Of course they are.
So there's more coming up here. The thing is, when the adults make such a big deal out of this, it takes something that for the teenagers is actually normal.
That's right.
And it suggests to them that this is something that is abnormal, and not only that, but a criminal act that could result in prison time for so-called child pornography. And then what? A sex offender list as well?
Probably.
It's Free Talk Live.
Times are changing. The circus of politics, healthcare's low standards and high prices, and let's not forget food quality. What to do? Arm yourself with Life Change Tea at GetTheTea.com. In a world of chemical imbalance and poor air and water quality, it's time you make a move. Log on to GetTheTea.com and stock up on organic non-GMO supplements. Don't forget the tea. Cleansing your body never felt so good. And we have a brand new tea called Takedown Tea, which helps support healthy glucose. All natural body support so you can be at your best, naturally. All you have to do is log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. We're not a fad that comes and goes. We are the real deal. Join us and armor up. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Changing America's health one tea bag at a time.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon. the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for the weekend of October 13th and 14th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.60 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,218 per ounce. Zen is trading at $14, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,279. Antiwar.com reports Saudi Arabia has been seen as virtually untouchable from a public relations perspective for years. Evidence of ties to 9/11 plotters and war crimes in Yemen have been sparsely reported in Western media, which has tended to have a very upbeat spin on Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. That did not come cheap, however. Saudi Arabia spends tens of millions of dollars annually on influence campaigns in the U.S. alone. As the outrage grows over the disappearance and probable murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, however, those dearly bought gains could be drying up. Among the biggest PR coups of 2018 was the WWE Greatest Royal Rumble in Jeddah. Estimated to have cost the kingdom tens of millions of dollars, the wrestling event was broadcast internationally, with the WWE repeatedly playing pre-made packages portraying the kingdom as a progressive place with modern values. Not that that went off without a hitch. The overuse of the video package had many mocking the fairly transparent propaganda. One top wrestler was denied entry into Saudi Arabia because his parents are of Syrian descent. The hype around letting women drive in Saudi Arabia was greatly undercut by them refusing to allow any women on the show. The second of the series of pricey WWE shows is scheduled for November 2nd in Riyadh. The backlash against Saudi Arabia, however, and the rising U.S.-Saudi tensions have raised reports that the show may be canceled outright. The WWE has neither confirmed nor denied, saying only that they are monitoring the situation. Industry reports suggest that there are contractual issues to be resolved. Either way, the show is likely to dramatically tone back the propaganda packages. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. That's fans.fppradio.com. UPI reports a small but growing number of children under the age of 2 in the United States are not being immunized, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. A report on a 2017 immunization survey indicated 1.3% of children born in 2015 did not receive the recommended vaccinations. The figure is markedly higher than it was in 2011, when just 0.9% of those between 19 and 35 months received no vaccinations. The figure was 0.3% in 2001. The CDC said the availability of health insurance and the children's locations played a role in vaccination compliance. The report said uninsured and Medicaid-insured children and those living in rural areas were less likely to be vaccinated than those with private insurance living in or near a city. About 7% of uninsured children did not receive vaccinations, compared to 0.8% of children with private insurance. Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community. Services that provide freedom, utility, and privacy. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports the Republican candidate for governor of Pennsylvania threatened to stomp on the face of his Democratic opponent in a social media video on Friday, and then walked back his comments, saying he made a mistake in his choice of words. Republican Scott Wagner is trailing well behind incumbent Democrat Tom Wolf in the polls ahead of the November 6th election, and the video was posted on Wagner's campaign Facebook page as part of an acrimonious battle in one of the most populous U.S. states. Wagner said in the video, "Governor Wolf, let me tell you what, between now and November 6th, you'd better put on a cap catcher's mask on your face because I'm going to stomp all over your face with golf spikes. A few hours later, the video was taken down. Wagner explained, I may have chosen a poor metaphor. I shouldn't have said what I said. On his Facebook page, Wolf encouraged people to share the original video if they agreed that Scott Wagner should not be the governor of Pennsylvania. Steve Scalise, the number 3 Republican in the U.S. House of Representatives, said these comments are totally unacceptable. As I've said many times before, there is absolutely no place in our politics for this kind of rhetoric. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Delighted health insurance executives gather in an outdoor coliseum to watch a patient battle cancer, and a self-conscious flasher is fully clothed under his trench coat. This is the Onion Week in Review. While stressing that they would absolutely never consider doing anything of the sort, German leaders quietly admitted this week that they were pretty sure they could carry out another Holocaust if they ever truly wanted to. Quickly noting that the Holocaust was an atrocity that should never be repeated, no matter how easy it would be to do so, almost all members of the German parliament discreetly conceded that with their country's dominance of Eurozone GDP, pulling off the unthinkable genocide would not be the least bit difficult.
I'm just saying, hypothetically, that we very easily could do it. I mean, we definitely have the infrastructure, and the concentration camps are still standing.
In other news, a so-called Christian has an erection. A new study finds more children are growing up in single-parent households, and a real-life Nancy Drew traces the source of her HPV.
This is the Onion News Network.
It is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the third hour of this live Saturday edition of the program. And you know what I'd like to hear from tonight? If you want to call in to participate, you can, of course, bring up anything you want. That's what we do here on Free Talk Live. But we always bring a topic to the table. And we've been talking about this so-called scandal, this sexting scandal, as being described by CBS New York out of Ridgewood, New Jersey, at least a high school, maybe. They said they targeted, or that notices were sent to parents of children in grades 6 to 12, but they didn't say in which grade the so-called explicit images were found.
Oh, that's true.
Being passed around. Yeah, they didn't say that. But regardless, it tends to be the high schoolers who get caught up in these so-called sexting scandals. And I guess I'd like to hear from somebody who, you know, thinks that this is a big deal, that this is a scandal, that this is like that if you were to take a photo of yourself, as some people have done in the past, Vin, you admitted that, you know, in the past this happened when you were a teenager with Polaroids. Now it's, you know, ubiquitous as far as the people having these smartphones, especially young people. It's probably 95% of any given high school class that likely has a smartphone. They're ubiquitous, and so it makes it easy to not only take a photo, but to share those photos. And the administration at these schools and the police departments would have you believe that not only is the taking of the photos and the sharing of them supposedly manufacturing and distribution of child pornography, which is just, to me, just ridiculous on its face, but they also want you to believe that it's somehow going to be, even if there weren't legal consequences for you for it, that it would be a bad thing in the future if these photos were to be found, that it could somehow ruin your life. And I would like to know from somebody, if you're in our audience here tonight, if you agree with that, if you think that a naked photo taken of you, in many cases by you, that gets around, right? You send it to your boyfriend, you break up with him, and then he's a real jerk, so he sends it out to all of his buddies, right? And then they send them to their buddies, and before you know it, it makes it back around, and it's made it to everybody in the grade level, right, or at the school. So I can understand how that might be devastating in the moment, right? Like that could be a little embarrassing, it could be frustrating, it could be anger-inducing, but I just don't buy the claim that 20 years later, you're going to be applying for some corporate job and they're going to look you up on the internet and find out that, little Sally Smith had a picture of herself taken when she was 16 years old, and then like, oh, sorry, you've got a sexting photo here. Sorry, you were otherwise qualified for the job, but you got a sexting photo, so therefore we're not going to hire you. I mean, is that what they want you to believe?
Well, isn't the whole idea with the sexting that you're sending it to another person? I mean, if you were putting it up on so I'm assuming it's being sent directly, whether that's through some messenger app or SMS or email, whatever, Facebook Messenger. Right. But the idea is that if you were to put it up in some public place, then well, first off, whoever put it up in the public place is putting up a naked photo of an underage person. They've put themselves. So I'm assuming that this was not that these photos were ever public, that it was just somebody had either received a photo or they found out that someone was sending a photo, and someone probably snitched on them and said, oh, Mary's
somebody definitely snitched on
Mary sent photos to her boyfriend. But again, it's like 16-year-olds or 15-year-olds or whatever, some high school boyfriend and girlfriend, and if they're sexually active with each other, the chances of them sending nude photos to the other person
seems fairly high.
It seems like 100% to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Like, what are the chances that it wouldn't have? I'm not saying
like
that
simply
you
because not only because there could be these legal consequences, but simply because you probably don't want everybody to see that,
That's
and
right.
it's so easy for that to happen now. If you take the photo, then it's out of your hands. As soon as it's out of your hands, it's out of your hands, and there's nothing you can do.
But they're also 16 years old, so that's it's not like they have that sort of wisdom. You don't get that wisdom unless wisdom comes from making mistakes, right? But I think that it's probably this is the scandal shocking this community. It's like I have a feeling that there's billions of these photos every single day. It's like every high school couple, they have to be doing this. They're used to communicating this way. Yep. They're used to taking photos, selfies. They're used to sharing those selfies with friends and sending them to other people.
And culture tends to be, that surrounding, young people and beauty and all that.
Of course.
I mean, they feel like they have to. They probably feel very pressured in some ways.
Yep.
But I just don't buy the claim that this is somehow going to affect the rest of your life. Because what they'll do is, in some cases, Vin, we've shared stories like this before on Free Talk Live, especially the ones where people do get charged with, teenagers do get charged with child pornography. Well, yeah, that's going to ruin your life if the state actually hits you with a sex offender status because you took a picture of yourself and it happened to get back to them. And so there's some states where they will allow for a class to be taken where it's like, well, we understand you're just a teenager and you didn't know what you were doing, and so we're not going to hit you with this felony child pornography charge if you agree to go take our propaganda class that tells you about how dangerous sexting is and how bad it is for your future.
What did they say? I'm so curious because they said, what is the action that they're recommending? They're saying, parents, check your child's phone.
Here, I'll get to that part.
And then
here.
what?
Yeah, so this is from the story at CBS New York, which starts by talking about how there's this scandal and this notice went out to parents. Fishbein, that's Daniel Fishbein, he's the superintendent of the school district, said schools in Ridgewood have been teaching students the proper uses for social media. He urged parents and guardians to take an active role in monitoring their children's phone use. So basically saying you need to get on your kid's phone and invade their privacy.
Right.
It's for their own good, of course.
Right.
Now, you're a parent, Vin. I mean, you've got a very young child, one of them, and one that's two to be born. But at some point, you might have to deal with this.
I'm assuming that I will have to deal with it.
Are you going to, have you even thought about this yet? Are you going to be the kind of parent who's like, give me your phone. I need to look through that.
No. No, because
that's what they want you to do.
Yes, I know that they do. I think that I could, I had, I would say, a relatively good respect of my privacy from my parents.
Okay.
But I know people who did not, and I don't think that anything positive came from that. I think that the people who I know who are the most well-adjusted in that regard are the people whose parents spoke and communicated often with them, but also said to them, look, I'm not going to go prying into your stuff.
Yep.
I'm not going to, but I do want to talk with you. And if you have issues, talk to me. I'm here for you. I'm not going to judge you on that or whatever, but I'm also going to give you your privacy.
And you would think that the young person would be more likely to talk if they felt like their parents were respecting them in the beginning, like by not invading their privacy.
Of course.
Instead of the warden parent who's like coming in the room, flipping the door, the drawers out, taking all the clothes out the drawers, checking for a bag of weed or a knife or whatever they're expecting to find in there, tossing the closet. I mean, that sounds like prison to me because that's what they do in prison. They toss your cell.
Well,
right?
I think what's even more insidious about this is the parents who are respecting their kids' privacy will get this sort of message and will continue respecting their kids' privacy. They may say, hey, there's this sexting thing. you probably don't want to do that. I'm not going to go, they're saying go through your phone. I'm not going to go through your phone, but let's have a little conversation. Whereas the parents who are unhinged and who want to, this is just an excuse for them to come to, whether these kids are doing it or not, it's an excuse to be like, oh, now they're paranoid and suspecting. And it's like, why are you doing this? You're subjecting kids to, you're making life worse for them, whether they were doing this or not, by saying, oh, there's this huge problem of sexting. It's a scandalous problem. It's insidious. I do not like it.
I'm still not sure what the problem is besides the fact that adults are overreacting to it.
No, that's exactly what it is.
Like, oh, you want me to believe that this is going to be a problem? A naked picture of yourself at age 16 or 17 in the future? Would a naked picture of yourself at age 18 also be a problem? Or is it only a problem if it's, before you turn the arbitrary age of legal consent?
I mean, I was on a TV show for 6 years that had nudity on it, so if you type in my name into Google, you will definitely find some nude pictures of me. Hasn't ruined my life. It made my life significantly better.
Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE if you want to join us. If you are a parent and you want to comment on this, we'd love to hear from you, especially if you're somebody who does think that this is a terrible thing, that this is going to ruin somebody's life down the line. 855-450-FREE. I want to hear from you. 855-450-3733. Join us on the radio. Free Talk Live.
You? Yeah, you. Your imagination is limitless. Your potential is limitless. We create websites, mobile apps, and animation. Let's design your story. SunstoneDigitalTech.com. 20% off. Quick, call 888-211-7519. We are digital. Call now, 888-211-7519. Sunstone Digital Tech. Limited time, limitless digital experiences.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening in your home anytime, anywhere. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blink is an Amazon company. Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.Global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.Global. Drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.Global. That's AnyPay.Global.
Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They are working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform. The unique spelling of Horizon is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Yep, it's Free Talk Live. We'll take your calls, thoughts about whatever you want. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. 855-450-3733. Not surprised that not a single person responded to my inquiry here. And by the way, we're on the air in New Jersey on Saturday nights. I don't know where Ridgewood is. I didn't bother to pull it up on a map, but we got a great New Jersey station in Atlantic City. WPG has been airing this show for quite a long time on both AM and FM. So, we're at the very least in the same state with this program, and I just don't believe the claim that this is in any way a scandal or in any way, shocking or in any way somehow detrimental to a young person's future if they happen to have a naked photo of themselves passed around a high school class.
It's not.
I just don't buy it. The toll-free number again, 855-450-FREE if you want to join us. Oh, and speaking of joining us, you can join us in real life. I hear you're going to Anarchapulco in 2019, Vin.
Yes, I'm speaking. I just found out I'm speaking. So.
What's the topic going to be? Do you know yet? It's like whatever you want it to be, basically?
Yeah, basically
Sweet.
it's whatever. It'll be something related to the spread of cryptocurrency. I think I'm going to do something with cryptocurrency in the developing world or something, and how that relates to bringing more liberty, I think.
Make sure you mention that you moved to New Hampshire, too, and all the cool things.
Oh, no, of course I will. Of course I will, yes.
I don't know. They haven't asked me to speak yet, but if they do, it's going to be all about what's happening in New Hampshire. But I know they want people to move to Acapulco, obviously, because it's beautiful down there, and you can't blame anybody at all for moving to Acapulco. But this will give you an opportunity to see not just me and Vin, because we're going to be broadcasting Free Talk Live there, but also Ron Paul is going to be speaking again.
Love it.
And look, let's be honest, you only have so many more chances to see Ron Paul speak.
Unfortunately, that's true, yeah.
I love my dog Jazzy, but she's only going to be here for so much longer. She's 14 years in dog years, and Ron's in his 80s in human years. So.
That is actually about 14 years in dog years.
Yeah, actually it's more than that. I think it's a little more than that.
Yeah,
but you want to see Ron Paul speak? This is an incredible place to do it. He packed the house this year. Over 1,700 people, a standing room only.
Amazing.
To watch him speak. But not just Ron Paul. Judge Andrew Napolitano will be making his first appearance at Anarchapulco. Doug Casey, Larkin Rose, many other names still to be announced. Now, I probably should go and check their list and see who else they've announced. I think David Icke, they said, was going to be there.
Love it.
Anarchapulco.com. They're going to cover all kinds of different topics there, and you're going to get to meet the largest gathering of freethinkers, voluntarists, libertarians, and ANCAPs in the world. This is the one. It's really the best kind of party/convention thing that I've been to in recent years. It took that crown, I think, from the Porcupine Freedom Festival. And,
for sure.
And they did a good job over at Anarchapulco. Plus, now you can save 15% off of your tickets if you go and get them now at anarchapulco.com using code FTL. So it's your first time. This is the first year of Anarchapulco where there's a discount available for Free Talk Live listeners. So check it out over at anarchapulco.com, code FTL. And don't forget, they sold out this year.
Yes, that's right.
So even though they're moving to a larger space next year, it's going to be the same beautiful resort, but they've got an even larger room that can hold like 3,000 people. As of a few weeks ago, they were over 1,500 tickets sold already.
Yeah,
so
you want to do it immediately. Yeah. You want to get those tickets immediately.
They are on track for selling out again coming up in 2019. And if they can
awesome.
sell this out again, they're just going to keep selling it out and selling it out. And
of course.
At some point, it won't be able to move to a larger venue. The venue they're moving to is going to be maybe the largest, it's certainly one of the largest ones available in Acapulco. So I don't think it could get to more than 3,000. And
they might have to split it between 2 hotels.
That gets that ruins
have a track
it. It's harder when
different
you do it like
stuff.
that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Nobody wants to do that. So at some point, this is going to max out, and then it's going to be even harder to get tickets. So get yours now. Anarchapulco.com, code FTL. Let's go to your phone calls and thoughts here. We got Rich. He's on the line in Indiana, listening to WIBC. Go ahead, Rich.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I was listening to your show and the photography and so on. Technology is making this easier and easier and easier. But everybody's getting all upset about, naked children. We got these pictures. Well, I was telling your answerer as I was calling through, I'm 71 years old and coming up on my 72nd. And I remember back in my childhood, we could go skinny dipping and nobody thought anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And, in today's world, we got the sex offender, we got the registry, and you start. This is too damn complicated to handle on the radio. This is so many layers.
Mm-hmm.
Who's a sex offender? The drunk that is black bag at the dumpster, and a cop goes by, and oh my God, indecent expression. Okay,
yep.
He's on the sex offender.
Right. Yep.
I mean, who? It's just out of control. And then if you look at the law, nude children are, that's pornography, except in the case where it's used for science or art or education.
Right.
Okay, now wait a minute. Who's making the decision on what's art or not?
Exactly.
I remember the stink when Andy Warhol painted a can of Campbell's soup.
Mm-hmm.
All right, somebody out there is going to be offended by just about everything. I mean, you can find somebody who's super offended by everything.
Absolutely. And then you've got these radicals like that, I can't think, West Laurel or Westmore Baptist Church or whatever.
Westboro Baptist Church. Yeah.
Westboro. That you got to have it our way or, you got to do it our way or it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And where the hell do we get these people from? And how do we stop them?
Well, the good news is you can just basically ignore them and don't give them the attention that they're seeking. That's the best way to stop those people, because ultimately the Westboro Baptist Church should be free to be idiots if that's what they want to do. They
are.
Yeah, if they want to go and protest a funeral or whatever it is they want to do, then okay, fine. Just don't go up and take their picture. Don't go up and engage them.
Mm-hmm. But then there's the whole psychology of the power of labels. Once the label is stuck on you, what do you do with that?
Right.
And then people start expecting.
Right, because most people aren't going to ask the question. If somebody gets labeled, if a teenager gets labeled with sex offender for the rest, in many states, for the rest of their lives,
that's right.
That's going to affect their lives, and thank you, Rich, for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. Great call.
Yep.
It's going to affect their lives in a way that, just somebody finding their nude photos isn't going to have any real effect, but, you're a sex offender? Sorry, you can't have this job. Sorry, you can't rent this house.
That's
Sorry,
right.
you can't, fill in the blank. You can't do it. They're not going to stop and say, well, why are you a sex offender?
That's right.
Tell me what happened. You're not going to get to those questions. It's going to be like, oh, sex offender? Moving on. Get rid of that resume.
That's right.
Whereas, if they would ask the question, they'd be like, oh, yeah, I took a picture of myself at age 16. And the person would just be shocked, like,
right.
You're a sex offender? That's a sex offense? And the same thing, like the caller pointed out, if you get caught peeing in a park or something like that.
Indecent exposure.
It depends. It could be just effluence, but either way, that's dangerous. That's bad.
Right.
We'll just throw you right in there with the child molesters in the sex offender list.
Right.
I mean, it's just, again, another example of how a government program with an intention of, we need to inform people about these dangerous people, ends up being applied much wider than it was originally purportedly intended. Because I don't think anybody who created the sex offender registry thought, let's put the guy in here who had to go real bad at the park because he had too many beers. It's Free Talk Live.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
Bacon lovers, we ship free. Try our amazing bacon. No refrigeration required. Proprietary value-added packaging provides 10-year shelf life and protects the leanest, thickest, center-cut, fully cooked bacon in America today. Ready to eat right from the pouch or warm and serve. Savory and delicious. Wholesale price for your everyday use. Order today at readytoeatbacon.com. readytoeatbacon.com.
The Shire Free Church offers a sanctuary to those seeking an escape from state churches.
The Shire Free Church is an interfaith, diverse group of people that may not share identical theological beliefs. As a member in or minister of the Shire Free Church, you are a sovereign individual and may be the faith of your choice.
We don't claim to have all of the answers.
We are open to all peaceful people.
We want to learn from each other.
What unifies the Shire Free Church and its diverse members is peace,
love,
and liberty. There are many paths to God, one for every individual.
The Shire Free Church does not define a specific path beyond those parameters that must be your foundation.
Peace as your way,
love as your guide,
and liberty as your light.
Learn more at church.shiresociety.com.
That's church.shiresociety.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live, inviting you to join us on the radio waves here. The toll-free number for you to take control of those airwaves is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Vin.
And also, you can call us on the Discord on-air call-in line rooms. We got 3 of them. And if for whatever reason they get all full up and we start using 3 lines all the time, I can add a 4th or a 5th or however many we need to on Discord. So you can use the phones and sound typical, or you can use Discord and sound almost like you're sitting in the studio with us. It really does sound great. But you do need the Discord app first, so go and grab that at discordapp.com, set up your account, and then click over to discord.lrn.fm, and that'll get you in our server. You can join one of those call-in line rooms right there at the top of our channel list. You know, a lot of libertarians got to know Tom Woods during the Ron Paul campaigns of 2008 and 2012. Tom is a New York Times best-selling author. He's written over a dozen books, including The Politically Incorrect Guide to American History. Since September of 2013, Tom's been putting out his own show every single weekday. The Tom Woods Show has racked up over 1,200 episodes so far. You thought doing once a week was a lot, Ben. This guy's doing it every day.
I love Tom Woods.
Yeah, it's a level of dedication that it's hard to find in the Liberty movement. But he's been doing it, and he's been doing a good job interviewing folks like Ron Paul, Judge Andrew Napolitano, David Stockman, and hundreds more, and covering all kinds of topics from war to the Federal Reserve to net neutrality, the FDA, Austrian economics, and other subjects of interest to libertarians. So you can find the Tom Woods Show online at tomwoods.com or search for Tom Woods Show in your favorite podcatcher. As we go to the phones, to the fun, whether you want to talk about this insanity of the so-called sexting scandals or whatever's on your mind goes here. And so we're going to Jake in Alaska listening on or watching us on Twitch at twitch.lrn.fm. Hey, Jake.
Hey.
Hey, you're on the air.
I want to rub oil all over your head.
You what?
Guy? Oh, my God.
I don't know what he said that he wanted to do to your head, Vin, but I don't think it was arable for the most part, so I'm glad it was garbled. You know what? You are an attractive man, so I imagine you get that a lot.
I take it as a compliment.
I always did too, man. Whenever a gay guy would give me a compliment, I would be like, you know what? It's nice to know I could always go gay if I needed to.
There you go. Yeah,
you know, I don't want to, but if I could, if I needed to, some of them like me. So anyway, toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE. And as long as you don't say something we can't air on the radio, we welcome a good crank call. I don't know what he said, so I let it go. So maybe
I think it needed a little more of a setup. He needs so that's a good freshman effort.
Freshman.
He needs to like clean it up. Right, don't clean it up too much, but I mean just write it out a little more, give a little more narrative structure, build the character a little bit more, have a little more character development.
Yeah, they don't do characters. They don't do characters.
Yeah, hit us. I want a good punchline. I want you to develop out your character, draw us into the conversation, and then drop the not the N-bomb, but drop a bomb.
Yeah. Just don't say certain words you can't say on the radio. And I understand some of the young people out there don't know much about what the rules are on the radio.
Right? Yes.
Here's the rule. If you're in doubt, then just leave it out. Don't say whatever. If you're not sure, there's certain words, the F word, the S word, the N word. Those are things you cannot say under any circumstances. Other things, you might be able to get away with depending on the context, but it just, it depends.
Yes.
So I like that freshman effort. He got past, he didn't get hung up on and didn't get his call dropped. He didn't get his call dropped.
Yes,
he got hung up on, but he didn't get his call dropped, and so that's or dumped, I guess I should say. So anyway, toll-free number 855-450-FREE, like freedom here. So we were talking about this Ridgewood High School so-called scandal, and I don't know if there's a whole lot more to say, except for just generally to point out that these are not criminals. These students at the high school who are ostensibly taking and sharing photos of themselves naked. It should not be a criminal act, what it is that they are doing, even though by the definition of what they call child pornography, it sadly is. It's insulting to these teens who are just doing something that they think is either fun or a nice thing for their boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, and to turn that into something that everybody's talking about, that news media is running with the story, and the cops are investigating, and they're going to come around and ask questions and ask your parents to start getting into your cell phone and become essentially agents for the police. I mean, this is all very scary and unnecessary.
What a traumatic experience to subject. Like, could you imagine being pulled into, let's say, an administrator's office, and there's a police officer there, and being like, "Oh, we need to see your phone." And what a traumatic experience to put a kid through. Seriously, is this necessary?
Well, not only that, but since you sort of drew up that scenario, which that's what happens.
Of course it did.
You got to remember also that these young people being in government schools have not been subjected to any kind of Know Your Rights seminar.
Nope.
So when they go into that room and the cop is, intimidating, which they are intending to be and have been trained on how to be, and the cop demands the phone get handed over, they're going to think they have to.
That's right.
And I don't care what you signed. I know that a lot of these schools, they have like a student handbook. And at the beginning of the school year, they'll have the student and the parent sign the handbook, saying they've read the rules. And look, I don't care if you signed the handbook. You don't have an obligation. I'm not an attorney, but this is my understanding of things.
Yes.
You have no obligation whatsoever to put your passcode. If you've got your phone passcoded,
Which
if you don't, you should. You have no obligation whatsoever to put a passcode into that phone to unlock it for an administrator, for your teacher, or for a uniformed police officer or an ununiformed
And I would
officer.
suggest that you use a PIN code as opposed to facial recognition or hand, because now the things are coming out where they are forcing people to put they're literally forcibly taking someone's hand and putting it on the phone. They're forcibly putting it in front of someone's face. They can't get a PIN code out of your head. So I would suggest, although for some reason on my phone it says that is the medium security way of doing it.
The higher security is an actual password with letters in it.
Right. That would be the highest. So, that may take a little bit longer, but I would definitely suggest, although facial is easier, although fingerprint is easier, they are not more secure.
Right. So if they're telling you something, you still have your rights. Okay. And this is a concept that they do not deliver to young people at all. The idea of rights. They might touch on the Bill of Rights in a history class once or something like that. So you may actually encounter that, but they're not going to. I remember specifically at my high school, being somewhat more aware, I would think, of these things than probably the average high schooler at the time. I actually had a conversation with the principal of my high school who told me that you don't have the right to free speech in school.
Yeah, that is one that they like to push forward, but I do believe that is settled case. That is settled law that you absolutely do have the right to free speech.
Yeah,
that does not go away.
But that doesn't stop them from telling you differently, right? Because it's not illegal for them to lie to you.
See, which is amazing. That should be a crime. It should be
lying?
It should be a crime for you to be a government employee and lie to a child about the scope of their rights within that environment. That should be a crime.
Well, yeah, I mean, that would be great. But the government, of course, doesn't hold itself accountable for anything whatsoever, and they've got all kinds of government immunities that protect them specifically from liability for, malfeasance or whatever it is. So you got to know your rights. And not only do you have to know your rights, but you have to be willing to exercise them under strenuous circumstances, in which you're being intimidated and you're being lied to. So, where do you start with that? Well, there's some great, information out there from Cop Block. I hand out flyers, the Cop Block Know Your Rights flyer, which you can actually pull that up on the Free Keene website at tools.freekeene.com and print it out. Because you don't live in Keene, likely, so you probably haven't gotten one from me in physical reality. Because I like to go down to the college every year at the beginning of the semester.
I like that.
For usually 3 or 4 weeks. I'll go out every Thursday, Friday night, or as many of them as I can, and just flyer the party nights. Basically, as the college students are walking around from party to party, I stand on one of the main areas where they are and just hand out literally hundreds of flyers in 1 or 2 hours at a time, to the point where after a few weeks they're like, "Oh yeah, I already got 2 of them from you. I'm good." So once it gets penetrated out into the populace, then I call it a year at that point. There's more coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Many people write us about their experience with Extendivite. Allow me to read you a few from Amazon.com. By Mel. Great product. My husband and father-in-law use it regularly. Both my husband and father-in-law have had significant change in their blood pressure and overall health. By Amazon customer. It works for me. Returned to buy the tincture and the capsules as they were on sale during February. Unlike some other products, this one worked for blood pressure and occasional irregular heartbeat. Extendivite produced noticeable results after just 2 bottles, a 4-month supply. I take Extendivite 3 times a day, every day. I think the supplement has helped with my increased fitness regime and to lower my blood pressure. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. Call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, bring up what you want in these remaining moments. We got enough time for you. If you dial now, our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Also, we've got the Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. Want to thank JP, who is a longtime Free Talk Live amplifier. He goes all the way back to when we used to have $3 AMP subscriptions. Because back in the beginning, that's where we started things, and then we decided to take it up to $5 being the minimum. But JP was way back in the day, so
he's an OG.
OG amplifier. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. That is a way for you to help Free Talk Live get on more radio stations around the United States, bring new internet listeners on board, and expose new people to the ideas of liberty and freedom and peace and cryptocurrency, which we're going to change gears and talk a little crypto here in the last segment. We kind of opened the show with a little bit about crypto with your Bitcoin Heretics event that you put on for the first time very successfully this week in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, that I went to on Thursday night.
It was great.
Yeah, I was grateful to be able to check that out, and we'll let you know when the video is available of that. No ETA at the moment, but at some point it'll come out. You told me, Vin, that there's one of these banker old school money guys who's on the attack, as there's just seems to be this large group of these old money guys that loves to just come on out and trash on Bitcoin.
Nouriel Roubini, the famous writer and economist, they call him Dr. Doom. I believe he's a Persian background. Quite an intelligent individual, but he is a hater if ever there was one, and he went and testified in front of Congress and has now been storming through crypto Twitter, really trolling, as a matter of fact. Yeah, and he's offering to debate the inventor of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin. But man, this dude is turning into a total troll. But he
well, now is he trolling, or because like when you troll, there's the suggestion that maybe you don't really believe what you're saying, right? Like that you're just trying to get a reaction, that you just want people to get upset. This guy must believe what he's saying, right? Well, let's get into what he's saying here, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, please. Yes.
Nouriel Roubini, who's described here at CNBC as a global economist.
Yes.
And he apparently has his claim to fame is he predicted the 2008 financial crisis. Well, so did Ron Paul. Is making sure U.S. senators don't miss his warning on cryptocurrency. Within minutes of testifying at a congressional hearing on Capitol Hill Thursday, Roubini sounded alarms on multiple aspects of the new digital asset class. Quote, "Crypto is the mother or father of all scams and bubbles," said Roubini, who's also a professor at New York University, told the U.S. Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Community Affairs. The self-described expert on international financial markets, asset and credit bubbles and their bust, said the first warning sign came after late last year as Bitcoin neared a high of almost $20,000. He told senators that, quote, "Literally every human being I met between Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2017 asked him if they should buy cryptocurrency."
Wow.
Which is a real statement of that had some penetration.
He said every human being that he met.
That's what he said. He might have been exaggerating, but regardless, it may have been a lot of people, and it certainly was in the mouths of folks discussing whatever was going on.
At Christmas time, my cousin is a county sheriff in one of the counties in California, and he said, "Oh yeah, everything around the sheriff's office. All they were yelling.
Everybody's talking about
what's
Bitcoin.
that Bitcoin doing now? They just started." And I told him, "Well, man, they may be in for a shocker if they're buying in at these high prices." But I found it interesting that he wanted to talk to me about it because he knew I was involved in crypto and all of that. Yeah, but how is that a scam?
Well, he goes on. He says, especially folks with zero financial literacy. Individuals who could not tell the difference between stocks and bonds went into a literal manic frenzy of Bitcoin and crypto buying, said Roubini. Well, I can tell you this. I don't know a whole hell of a lot about these traditional financial markets. I mean, I think when I was in my early 20s, I bought some stocks just for the heck of it or whatever. I didn't really do much research or anything like that. Not that research is going to make much of a difference as how a stock goes. But, I wouldn't know how to buy a bond. I guess you call somebody who knows how to buy bonds and you have them do it for
broker,
you or whatever. I don't know the difference, but I know the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I know how to buy and sell those things. So again, that's irrelevant. But in his prepared testimony, Roubini called out, quote, "scammers, swindlers, criminals, charlatans, insider whales, and carnival barkers," who he said had tapped into, quote, "clueless retail investors' FOMO," which is fear of missing out, then took them for a ride with pump and dump schemes for, quote, "scammy, crappy assets at the peak that then went into a bust and crash in a matter of months like you have not seen in any history of financial bubbles." Well, I mean, What do you have to say to the bubble accusation, Vin? I mean, because it definitely did go up and then it went down. Isn't that a bubble?
Well, I don't. A bubble goes up and then down, but that's only if you look at it as you're just coming into it, buddy.
Yeah.
I bought my first bit. I know you've been in it for a very long time, but I bought my first Bitcoin at $15.
Wow.
In 2012, November of 2012. It don't look like a bubble to me, buddy. When I look at those prices, I'm looking at okay, so maybe it crashed from 20,000 to 6,000, but what's $15 to $6,500
huge
in
increase.
6 years?
Yeah.
What that sounds to me like the greatest investment opportunity in 1,000 years?
Right. And what opportunity to invest isn't fraught with some level of risk?
Well, that's what makes it an investment.
Yeah, right.
If there's no, well, this is something that I tweeted today that I said, in talking about this scam idea, the greatest return on investment always comes from investing at the time of the greatest risk when nobody else wants in, right? Like, you would hear it from somebody who's like, yeah, this first investor who invested in us when no one else believed in us, right? That's the moment of greatest risk. That's when you get the largest returns on your investment.
Yeah, when you look the craziest.
So
basically.
that means that the greatest investment opportunity is indistinguishable from a scam, because the greatest investment opportunity, most other people will be saying, dude, that's a scam. You really shouldn't be doing that. You really shouldn't be doing that. So for him to say that it's the mother of all scams is really to say, well, it also really could be the mother of all great investment opportunities. Right. You should be paying attention to scams, or when people say it's a scam, pay attention, do your own research, really dig in, because it's probably a good chance that could be a great investment opportunity.
You want to talk about the mother of all scams? Let's talk about fiat currency.
The Fed? The Fed is not the mother of all scams? Printing money out of thin air, and then which then devalues the rest of the money out there? That's not a scam?
Right. And then, issuing bonds and all the other crap based on that.
That's right.
And those are the things that this Rubini guy loves.
He's a shill for them. He's their shill.
And then the article goes on to talk about how other economists and Wall Street leaders have agreed with Rubini's assessment on Bitcoin, but few have as aggressively spoken out about its underlying technology, blockchain. Rubini sees almost no reason for its widespread adoption. Well, the dude's an idiot, because blockchain, even without the whole cryptocurrency aspect, the idea of the blockchain is what's really kind of the technology that backs Bitcoin. I mean, that's ultimately it's not the code, but it's the technology that backs Bitcoin. It's not that complex to say it's a public ledger.
Yep.
It's a public ledger that's distributed and decentralized. So copies of that blockchain, of that public ledger, exist simultaneously in the same state. Not physical state, but the same state. They have the exact same content.
That's right.
In thousands of locations around the globe. With Bitcoin, it's, I believe, over 10,000 nodes currently. Full nodes have the full blockchain, which is every single transaction that's ever happened on Bitcoin since 2009 when it was launched. So it's almost a decade now. It's worth of transactions. Last I looked, it was, getting up towards 200 gigs or something? I remember it at 150 a couple years ago, so I'm guessing it's closer to 200 now, but... so it's not but on the scheme of things, it's not really that big. I mean, think about how much money we're talking about that's been transferring and the value that's been transferred. But blockchain as a technology is being adopted in many cases by big companies like IBM and Bank of America and many of these
banks are adopting the underlying technology.
Right, because it's more secure when you have different copies of the ledger in different places, even whether it's public or not. If it's in a private company, obviously it's not going to be public, but it'll be in different places and secured by the fact that it's in different places. So if somebody wants to come in and cook the books, well, they don't get to access all 20 copies or all 2,000 copies. They get to access one copy. They try to change the details in the blockchain, and then the other nodes check it and say, well, that's fake.
Well, that's why he doesn't like it, because
he can't scam them anymore.
He's shilling for scammers and he's shilling for counterfeiters, and they don't want that. They want to have complete control.
We are out of time for tonight.
Hey now.
Check out Vin Armani on his show over at vinarmani.com.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And you're on Twitter as well.
Yep, at Vin Armani.
All right. And then you can join us tomorrow night, because we're live every single night, and I'll be taking over the Sunday show tomorrow.
Nice.
So join us then. In the meantime, you can join us online at freetalklive.com, and don't forget our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. Enjoy your weekend.
If you're looking for work, there's a piece of paper more important than your resume. It's the cover letter attached if you're snail mailing, or the email to which you attach your resume. Make it 4 short paragraphs. Paragraph 1, say that you're applying for work. The person you're sending to gets a ton of mail about all sorts of things. If you have a password, that's your first sentence. Tom Nelson tells me you and I should meet. Paragraph 2, what you do and how that relates to the opening. Be as specific as possible. Paragraph 3, why you want this particular job. I'm originally from Boston, so I know the market well. I have family and friends in the area, so this would be a homecoming for me. Paragraph 4, unless the job posting stipulates no calls, and I will call you to follow up. Thank you in advance for your time. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency.